You're still muted, Dave. I can't hear you at all.
Okay, now I think I'm on. I see my mic is working, so I have to change mics. Got a mic issue. Hang on just a second, everybody. Can you hear me
Yeah.
now?
Yes, the problem with using the latest technology is sometimes it decides to go screwy on you.
Well, it's just at the last minute. We were doing good till just a second ago, and then all of a sudden, bam, nothing
Yeah.
there. So anyway, I'm sorry, folks, but okay. So let's get up to date on everyone. Give a talk to them. Our graphic up there at the top is wrong too. It's showing 0 ice storm warnings, and that's incorrect. So, Mark, you want to start off and give us an idea?
Okay. Don't know if you want to pull that graphic up or not, but we're under winter weather advisory down here in the southern tier. Probably from around old Christian County, you draw a straight line across Paducah, Murray, and on down into the first tier of counties in Tennessee. And we are
Okay,
under a winter weather advisory.
hold
And that
on.
is going to be all.
Go ahead. I just wanted to show the graphic.
Okay.
So the
As you can see,
go
there's a
ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm getting a heck of an echo off of you.
Oh my goodness. Anybody else hearing an echo? No, they're saying it loud and clear. Uh,
Okay, well I'll work through it on this end, but basically the counters you see there in kind of a bluish color, those are under a winter weather advisory. That is for the possibility of freezing rain, starting off probably up to a tenth of an inch, could be up as high as a quarter of an inch up in the northern counties. And again, that is on the surface. That's not on the power lines. Power lines and trees cut that by about a third. And then you go on up into Madisonville and over to Cape Girardeau and up along the Mississippi River and Ohio rivers. And north of there, they are under an ice storm warning. And they are expecting up to three-quarters of an inch of ice up in that direction. And there's a region right along the Missouri and Illinois border over there where they're expecting an inch of ice with this. So they could
wow.
really have some bad effects with that. North of that is a winter storm warning, and they're looking for 3 to 5 inches of sleet and snow.
Okay. Well, we're not going to be completely void of snow, just so in case any of you were wondering. But let's go ahead and take first things first. Got a lot of people on with us right now. See, my sis is on. Hi, sister. She's Sheila's with me, and I appreciate that. All of you good friends are on with me. See Gerald. Hi, Amy. Let's see here. Let's look at this particular model. This is the ECMWF. And this is 9 a.m. Let's see, is this? Yeah, it's tomorrow, 9 a.m. And you can see we're well into this storm. Now, this is one model rendition. Does not mean this is exactly where it's going to be. But we'll go through it a little bit. And you can see the ice is there just to our north. I kind of hope this is the way it works out, because at least the southern part of the state will probably escape the worst of the ice. In fact, I think we'll be pretty good even up until you get close to the Ohio River. Because it looks like that some of those areas are going to get just enough to keep widespread power outages from occurring. That doesn't mean we won't get any, but I do know, at least speaking for Pennyroyal Rural Electric, that they have done a lot of work on the right-of-ways and everything. They've tried to clear trees off that would cause power outages in an ice storm. So they have done some work there on it. And so I hope that this will continue to be the case for all of us, that we all get through this without big power outages. But if you get up there upwards to where there's an inch of ice, then that's not a good thing. So let's go ahead and move forward a little bit. This is at 9 p.m. tomorrow evening. And then that shows the low going right over the top of us. I don't know that I buy that. It just doesn't seem right. I saw another model that showed it near Memphis and going off to the east of us. So it's weird on how these things are showing up. But anyway, at any rate, as we get into the colder air coming in behind it, you see the snow starting to overtake the western part of the state. Gets a little robust at times. You see some of the darker areas, which means maybe more of a moderate type of snowfall, briefly anyway. And then by midnight, or no, this is this is noon on the 6th, which is Monday. You see it's starting to work on out of the area. So there we go. Now I do want to go ahead and let's take a look at another one that's coming. Just so you know, we're not out of the snow barrel yet. I don't know if this one will have it or not, but I'll go ahead and run through it.
Yeah. Tammy Carter, you're asking how Muhlenberg County can have an ice storm on one side and winter weather advisory on the other. Well, the way the low is going to track up to the northeast, the heavier ice and the temperatures, especially, that's what's going to affect the ice, is going to just move in an angle like that. Like Madisonville may get a lot of ice, and then over in Muhlenberg County, it's going to be warm enough so you get more rain. Believe it or not, it's going to be that fine.
Yep, it is. And this is the beginning. This shows you the timing of this stuff coming in. It looks like it'll be into Hopkinsville, Greenville, Madisonville areas around, it says 2 a.m. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not, well, it says between 2 and 5, so I guess that's a good, accurate depiction, Mark.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, and then we get into east of Greenville towards eastern Logan, Simpson County, and Warren County between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. So if that gives you guys a little bit of an idea about what we're looking at. So then let's see what else we got here. So here's our breakdown on the forecast. This is for the ice storm warning. That's in the purple because that's where most of you, some of you that are watching are concerned about this part. So Mark, would you like to take over for that?
Okay, the major, again, the areas they're looking for, and we'll see this later on one of the other graphics probably, or possibly in the other. The major area they're looking at is up in Illinois and Missouri, right where the counties come together there, right about where you see ice and ice storm warning. There's an area right there that the models have been showing will get between 3/4 and an inch of ice, or maybe a little more. And that's what they're talking about when they're saying about locally historic ice storms possible. We all know that the major ice storm in 2009 put about 2 inches of ice down around Paducah and stuff like that, but that was in a slightly different area. That was across West Kentucky and back up toward Indiana. That's right in that area, it would be historic. Otherwise, they are most of the areas through there are expecting upwards of 3/4 of an inch of ice. And again, they're going to be getting the ice. And then in behind that, when the low passes by, we're going to start to get some pretty brisk northwesterly winds in there. And if they accumulate ice on their power lines and stuff, and then the winds start up, gusting up to 30, that could cause them some problems with their power lines and power grid.
Absolutely. And that is something to be concerned about. In addition to the lows going into the teens and single digits, it's going to be really chilly. And then we have this winter weather advisory that most of those, in Hopkinsville area, Paducah, Murray. Talk about that, Mark.
Clarksville, you're in that too, and on
Yep.
down in the northern the northern tier of counties across the Tennessee-Kentucky border there. But they're basically looking at conditions for us. Let me get down to it on my monitor here. They're looking for an initial burst of freezing rain and sleet. Then we'll change to all rain sometime in the morning hours tomorrow, probably between 10 a.m. and noon. Then will be rain all afternoon, and then tomorrow night we'll change back over to snow. So basically, we're looking for sleet and snow accumulations, a trace to about an inch of snow possible, maybe a little bit more toward the northern end of there, up toward the north end of Christian County and up toward Paducah area. And then a total from a light glaze up to around a quarter of an inch. And again, the farther north you go, the more you're going to get.
So really, we can handle pretty much as far as power goes. The power lines will handle that fairly well. But the bigger concern is going to be, of course, road conditions, and it don't take much ice at all to cause slick roads. So the big thing is remember to be very cautious, take extra care, put some distance between you and the vehicle in front of you, and hopefully the person behind you do the same thing, because that's the one thing you don't want to do is have a problem out there like that. And be sure you have the cold weather kit in your vehicle. Have a blanket or something to keep warm if you don't know how long it'll be before you get someone to you. So anyway, just be sure to take these precautions. Use some common sense and take your time. There's nothing worse than applying your brakes, and don't apply your brakes hard. Just kind of tap them to kind of slow yourself down and find a way to get the vehicle slower if it looks like you're going to be sliding. I guess hopefully you'll come through it just fine. So let's look at the next thing. Let me go back here.
Dylan Fish is asking, can the rain that falls in Hopkinsville turn into ice at night and impact travel during the day the next day? Yes, it can.
Sure.
And that's probably what we're looking at in the Monday morning time frame. We're not expecting the snow to really exit this area till later on in the morning on Monday. So we may wake up to snow on the ground and a little bit more snow falling.
So let's look at some of these forecast models. I'll look at let's look at the College DuPage.
Mike Bynum, what are you looking at? Well, it depends on where you're at on that graphic.
Yeah, I think Mike, and he up in
Isn't he up near Beaver Dam, I was thinking?
I don't remember. Mike, where are you, buddy? Let us know. We'll try to look it up for you. In fact, there's a question. Susan Reber says, what's it looking like for Beaver Dam? Let me explain to you what I've got up here. We were talking about not being finished with the snowfall. So what I've done on this, I'm going to look at the 24-hour snowfall amounts. And the reason is I don't want the storm we're currently about to get to show up on this, because it probably would not affect that at that particular time period. So we're going to look at this, and you'll see we've got another storm coming from the southwest. And this is on next Friday, January 10th. And here it comes. And you can see that's some pretty hefty snows. We are looking at snow this time. I don't see any ice in that. Yeah, Mike's in Washington, Indiana. I don't know why we didn't remember that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Up in Washington, Indiana, you're looking at probably, I think the forecast up that way is looking for 3 to 5 inches of snow and sleet.
So, Mike, you'll be slip sliding away, buddy. Take it easy up there. Okay, so we're looking at this model here, and you can see it's a pretty good snowstorm coming in for Saturday, the 11th. And if I put the mouse over it, this is projected snowfall amounts, 6.5 inches. This is going to change between now and then, but this is where it's showing right now, and this is going into next weekend. And you can see it stays with us for a little while. So I'm going to back up just a little bit and see what the amount there is. 6.9, somewhere in there. I saw it. But anyway, just so you know, this could be a pretty good snowfall for us. If you want to make snow cream or just have general snowfall, then I think that'll be a good one. I don't think we'll have. Well, you can drive a lot better on road conditions on the snow than you can ice any day of the week, and plus it'd be easier for them to clear as well. So, again, I don't think that will be quite as impactful as the storm we're getting tonight and tomorrow. So anyway, just something to keep you in mind on what we're looking at. Now here's our model for, this is the ECMF model. Let me see if I can, this is the 24-hour snowfall with it. Well, I take that back. I think it's done switched over to the new model.
It may have. They were.
Yeah, I don't have anything
on
it. So let me go to something different here.
Yeah. You were asking about Springfield, Ohio. They look like they're going to be in that winter storm watch area as well. If they're not, they will be. Probably 3 to 5 inches of snow up that way, maybe a little bit more, and definitely some hazards associated with that when you get up in that direction.
I think I've showed them too much. This is the 19th, so let's get back off of this. They don't need to see all that because it's so far out. I don't even trust it. So I'm backing up in time a little bit. You can see a lot of areas are going to get some snowfall. This is one for next Friday. It's showing that over Christian County 1.6, a little bit less back this way, but as we get to the 11th, you see that we've got as much as, well, what is it doing to me here? It's trying to mess me up. Now it's showing 8 inches over Christian County and 7.6 inches. This is a different model, but it gives you a chance to see what some of them are saying. Again, do not put a lot of stock in this. I caution you on that. I really, really, really want you to not worry about this too much. These are numbers, and we have to pay attention to them because this is the second model is showing a little something there. So when you got 2 models showing a storm, you have to pay attention to it. As far as these snowfall totals, ignore them because they're not going to be accurate. So
and all this is probably going to move around a lot between now and next weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Shannon's asking, will the ice melt any through the week, or the temps staying below freezing? The temps are probably going to stay below freezing, especially during the nighttime hours. It's going to get down into the teens and close to the single digits, with wind chills staying down around the single digits several days this week. And then beyond that, during the daytime, it might get warm enough so the sun that comes out could make a little bit of the ice melt. But if we get a little bit of snow cover, it's probably going to hang around for a little bit.
I like Virginia Poland's description on how to drive. She says her driver's education teacher always said to act like you had rotten eggs under your gas and brake pedals when you're driving on on snow and ice. If you got the pedals too hard, you'll break the eggs. That would be.
You don't want to break those eggs.
Oh no. Jess McGowan Sr. says the rain afterwards will freeze on contact, right? Well, that's really what freezing rain is. It's rain that falls, and then the minute it makes contact with the surface, it freezes. And so, yes, in a nutshell, that's correct. But that would be what's coming in late tonight and into tomorrow morning. And let's see, Mark, when does it peak? Tomorrow during the day or after tomorrow night?
The peak for the freezing rain north of us is going to be through the day tomorrow.
Okay.
And then everybody's getting snow on the backside of this.
Okay, I got you.
So for tomorrow night, late night into early Monday morning, it's going to end from west to east, and that's when we're going to be looking to get our snow accumulation.
Right. So I do appreciate all you on here with us. We've still got a lot of viewers and everything. So in a nutshell, we are under a winter weather advisory in Hopkinsville, the areas along the Kentucky-Tennessee border, and actually down into the counties adjoining in Tennessee, adjoining the Kentucky-Tennessee border, like Clarkson, Montgomery County, and back in Dover, Stewart County. These areas all are also under this advisory. And then the advisory, Mark, is for what, up to?
The winter weather advisory looks for ice accumulations up to a quarter inch.
Okay. and or snow up to 1 to 3 inches, if I remember right on my terminology.
Right,
You know,
right.
but
And
we
that
know
will
this is
again
going
be
to.
tomorrow night.
That's right. So a lot of adverse weather coming towards us. So I said earlier on one of my Facebook posts that it's milk and bread alert. So basically, what that means is get where you need to be tonight. Don't when you wake up in the morning, the roads are liable to be pretty slick. If you normally go to church, you might look to see if the roads are decent enough to get there. But you need to be very, very careful. Let's see here. Dax Daddies. I always heard, imagine grandma. Wait a minute here. What did he say? I can't. He got through it and I didn't get it all. Hold on here. Here we go. I always heard, imagine grandma holding a bowl of gravy. If you make her spill it, you're driving too fast. And grandma will let you know about that too, I can tell you.
Yes, she will.
But anyway, everybody, I really appreciate you. Those that are watching over on the David Powell Weather and Wisdom Facebook page, be sure and subscribe to this channel. We need all the subscriptions we can get. And not only that, but I want to see, I've got a new thing that we put on here. My technicians worked on this last night, which is why we kind of got a few little bugs we got to work out. But when you subscribe, it's going to show up on the screen right here that someone has subscribed. I'm just anxious to see if it actually works that way. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel, and you'll be a member of our tribe, the Watchers of the Wind tribe, and it will help out the channel as well. So we need all the subscriptions we can get. It helps a lot and helps us to grow so we can provide you the technology that we're currently giving you on some of this stuff. And in fact, we'll go out on the radar here in a little bit and see if we can find where the actual precipitation is right now. Let's see here.
It's just getting started right now. So that's why we've been kind of iffy on this storm, because the storm is just now forming.
Yeah, right. All right, here we go. Let's see. Who is it? I can't see who's subscribing. Sarah Arnold has subscribed. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. It works. Uh-oh, we got another one. Let's see. All right, I'm going to talk to my technician. Looks like Sarah Jones. Yeah. No, or Carol Bryant has liked it, I think, is what that was. Okay, well, we still got a few little bugs.
Right now,
go ahead.
Yeah, Chris Meacham, will we be upgraded to any kind of warning anytime today or tonight? Right now, it doesn't seem so, but keep your eyes and ears open, because this storm is, as we said, is just forming. It could shift around a little bit.
Yeah, and like I said, it's had that southern trend. I really hope it doesn't trend any further south and put us in a much bigger ice pattern than what we're expecting. Barbara Fashon says, how do you subscribe? Well, you go to our channel there, and somewhere you'll say subscribe. Hey,
Down
Scott.
along the bottom.
Yeah, along the bottom, and it'll say subscribe. Just click on it. It may ask you for an email address. If it does, it's okay to give it. That's just something YouTube does to make sure you're a real person. You won't hear from them again. It don't cost you anything, so feel free to do that. Scott Mays, our old friend there. Scott from our Vertical Days, Mark, he's on with us as the weather guys.
Yeah.
Craig Edwards, David, Mark, thanks for the information. You're welcome, Craig. Tammy Gullick says, just got here. Hope I didn't miss anything too important. Thank you guys so much for keeping all of us up to date. And Gerald says, Madden, finally got it right. Blackheart 502 says, is there any warning shelters in case power goes out? I haven't heard if Crofton's going to open up their shelter on this. I don't think there are any immediate plans, because this doesn't appear to be a super event in this area. Although outside the Christian County area, there may be a need, especially up towards Madisonville, Marion, Morganfield, all up in there. But right now, if everything stays on track, I think we may escape without too much in the way of power outages. Chris Campbell says hello and thanks for the info. And Jamie Tucker says, I was really hoping for that 12.9 inches of snow. Well, Jamie, be careful what you wish for. There are several storms coming in the future that will bring us some snow. I promise you. You will see snow soon.
Yeah, for this one, go to Kansas City.
Oh, okay. Jesse Reese is on with us. She's talking food. She says she went out and did some, she didn't get milk and bread, but she got little Debbie cakes and snacks and stuff you like to just munch on. Eric Brake says that April Lily with the weather nothing is set in stone until it happens, and he is absolutely right. Amy Watkins says, thank you for giving us all some great info. You're most welcome, Amy. And Tommy Hilliard is on the Weather and Wisdom Facebook page. Says, just got on. What's the prediction for ice in Trigg County? All right, Mark, take it away on that.
Okay, Trigg County, they're going to be in the same as Christian County. We're looking at if you get down toward the Kentucky-Tennessee border, they'll probably get trace to about 1/10 of an inch. If you go north and you get toward the north part of the county, you may be getting close to 1/4 inch. And then if you get up into Caldwell County, you're in that ice storm warning. So you could get 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch at least.
So I hope that answers your question. Shannon Ziskowski says, I'm praying for a foot of snow. Let's see, who is that? Subscribe. Leela Hale. Leela Hale looks like has subscribed. And I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Welcome to the tribe.
Absolutely. You're now a member of the Watchers of the Wind tribe, and you can go to our online store, find out how to get a decal to put on the back of your vehicle. We've got a lot of things fixing to start coming into play when the online store gets up and going. We're trying to marry the two things together, the dpww.shop and the, okay, Mark, is it weather and wisdom
Shop weather and wisdom.com.
Yeah, okay, I got it. But it's not online yet, but I'm understanding that it will be sometime, hopefully within the next week. Brad Jones, hey Brad, says, since the storm is just starting, will you all be looking at another model run this afternoon to see where the low will go?
We're going to continue to monitor it, absolutely. Yeah. We may not be on. We may not. We will probably come back on tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm not sure exactly what time.
Yeah, we're going to play it by ear tomorrow because we will do a normal update on Sunday anyway, like we usually do. But I'm not sure of the time just yet. But yeah, it was a way to get the word out, and I think with the situation we'll need to be on live. That is, if this thing don't take a big turn and cause us to where we can't get in here to the studio, that'd be an issue, wouldn't it? But
put on your ice cleats and walk.
Yeah. All right, we got somebody else. Let's see here.
Yeah.
But my eyes are just.
Dylan Fish had a question for you on up there, Dave.
All right. Let me see. He says, I know this is all subject, but my mom said that David was talking about the first week of March having some severe storms coming in. Is that right? Actually, it'd be more like about mid-March. Yeah, I think the first week of March will still be in wintertime, but I think winter takes a sudden retreat in mid-March, and then all heck breaks loose with the severe weather. I think we're looking at a pretty serious severe weather season. You know, I've hit all this stuff pretty good so far. When I did the winter outlook back October 1st, and it came out, it was. Are you squeaking in there?
No, the bay door's opening.
Oh, okay. That would be Amy and Shane, I guess, arriving. So I'll be looking forward to seeing them. But anyway, so yeah, mid-March is when we need to be looking at the severe storms be kicking in. We will talk more about that as it gets closer. And of course, we'll take care of you. We're going to be on here live anytime that's happening. We were on live gosh, Mark, we were on all day for about 2 days straight, weren't we? Last severe season?
I think so. We were on pretty close to that.
Yeah, so we'll make sure you have everything covered. Nancy Rogers says, what about Bowling Green? I know that's where she's wanting to know about, so let's talk to her about Bowling Green. What does it look like for them?
All right. As we head over that way, Bowling Green looks to probably just be in the winter weather advisory. They're probably the same. Yeah, and that's a good thing. They're probably looking the same thing, maybe between a trace and 1/4 inch of ice and or sleet, and then a bit of snow on the backside, probably around 1 inch.
Yeah, I think Warren County, Simpson County, those areas, maybe even southern Logan County, I think you're going to be pretty good. I don't look for widespread power outages. You'll have just enough ice to make it miserable and probably keep you indoors for, I don't know, 6 to 12 hours. But if the temperature's warm just enough, Mark, what is our projected highs for tomorrow? Do you know?
Yeah, hang on 1 second here.
Dill Pickle, how about Louisville, guys? I like his handle or her handle, whoever. but
Yeah.
we'll
Our
check that.
highs tomorrow, yeah, our highs tomorrow, we will probably get up around 40 degrees. That's where all this is going to turn to rain for us. It won't get that warm the farther north you go. The
Yeah.
farther north you go, the temperature gradient is going to be fairly steep. So it could be like we get 40 degrees and it's 32 in Madisonville.
Uh, yeah, Shannon Zakowski says none of us here in Dawson are looking forward to severe storm weather. I don't even watch the movie Twister. I can imagine. I certainly
Oh,
understand
yeah,
that,
I
Shannon.
understand that.
We've all we all remember what it was like, and I tell you, it was no fun at all. So having some people asking about the radar. So let's look back here to the west. This is the start of what's coming in. This is just the start of the storm, and not a whole lot going on there right at the moment. We do have a camera there. Let's take a look at the camera. This should be school system, Dragon Nation. I can't tell if they're getting any precip or not. It's 21 degrees, so I would say if they are getting any, it's going to be either freezing rain, sleet, or snow. And I don't see anything falling right at the moment. But the clouds sure do look ominous.
Yeah, what you may be seeing there is the early part of the storm, and it's not reaching the ground yet.
Yeah, probably so. We have a power outage back here. Let's see. That's not too big of a deal. 67 customers out there, so that doesn't have anything to do with it. Which is another thing about this radar. Once this stuff starts going, we can give you an idea of how many power outages there are and all kinds of things. So we'll be on tomorrow. We'll talk about some of that. Here's Staten County EMA, Nebraska. And you can see they've already got some snow. Looks like snow and maybe a little ice on the ground. But boy, it looks cold there. It is, I guess so, 9.8 degrees. So,
Oh, my goodness.
somebody says, well, what's the temperature out there? Well, it's 9. That's not even fun. Let's see here. Let's look up here at Spirit Lake, our usual spot we go to.
Yeah,
And
that looks cold too.
Oh yeah, it looks real cold. It looks like that ice is getting some thickness to it now, so won't be long. We'll be seeing some ice
Yeah.
fishermen. 14 degrees.
Degrees. Yeah, it's cold up there, all right.
Let's see where else we got. This is all snow. Let me go to the precip depiction, and that will give us a better idea of what we're looking at. Right here, and there we are. There's the snow. Here is some sleet.
Beginnings,
Yeah,
beginnings
freezing
of the
rain.
sleet and ice.
In fact, let's move on back over here towards western Missouri, and you can see they're already getting some snow.
Yeah,
This is one I
there
just-
is a possibility we could see a little bit of snow right at the start of this, but it's going to switch over to freezing rain fairly quickly.
Yeah, you can tell that the temperatures drop off really quick behind the front. And so let's see what this one's got here. 28 degrees. This is Burlington, Kansas. And it not really appears it doesn't have much going on, but it does look like they got a little coating of ice out there. So we'll see. Let's go on a little further. Of course, we've got a lot of cameras over here to catch it as it comes in. If it's not too dark when it gets in here. I tell you what, that's why we're over here. Let's just look at Mount Shasta real fast.
It's kind of fuzzy right now. It's
yeah.
not showing much.
36 degrees, so I guess they've got something going
Frost
on
on
there.
the land as
Yeah, a
well.
little bit. So let's come on back over to our neck of the woods. And this is Missouri. So let's take a look at some of these cameras here, see if we can make anything out. Boycom, Missouri, 34 degrees. Doesn't appear to be much going on there. But the sky is darkening, and it looks like it won't be long before it'll start coming down. And you can see already that it's approaching that area now. If I put it into motion, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, you can see that the rain or sleet, freezing rain and sleet and stuff moving in behind this little band of snow. But more of this is coming. This is just now getting organized. It'll be a little while, but by the time it gets in here, it should be much more organized, and we'll see how this plays out. So again, let's go back to our neck of the woods. Not a lot to see here, but it will not be long. Let's see. Tracy Rainier, what direction is that mass moving around Kansas City? I think it's moving northeast. Linda McElrath says boo. I know why she said that. She wanted to see Mount Shasta. She's a big fan of that, and I agree. And Eric Brake says, can't even see Mount Shasta. Let's see here. Ramey Landwork says, what's it looking like for Morganfield, Mark? If you're referring to overnight or even tomorrow.
Yeah, either way, Morganfield, I think, yeah, if I remember right, Morganfield is down
Right here near the
in
Ohio
the,
River, just southwest of Henderson.
okay. That is up in the ice storm warning area.
Yep.
That's you're in danger of getting between probably a half and 3/4 of an inch. It may cause some power outages in the county. They should not be as long lasting or nearly as bad as everything was back in 2009.
Yeah. Let's hope not. We sure don't want this to happen. And Landon McCannon says, will it track further south? That is a big $99 question.
It might not. We're still waiting. As I said, this storm is just now getting formed up.
Okay, Denise Belt's asking, how about Muhlenberg County? Up around
Muhlenberg
Central
County,
City? Yep.
yeah, is right on the line between the ice storm and the winter weather advisory. So you'll probably get maybe a 1/4 inch of freezing rain and maybe some snow behind it, up to about an inch. And again, there's going to be a period through the middle of the day for the southern counties where it changes over to all rain and maybe quits altogether after the low passes. But then the snow is coming in behind it.
Yeah, I'm going back over to the graphics a little bit, and you can see here's Muhlenberg County. They're currently under the winter weather advisory, but we're all so close up here along this whole northern tier of the advisory area is probably in danger of getting a little bit more ice than what we're getting down here in the southern part. So we'll see.
And they're I see what she was talking about. She's kind of framed up there in Muhlenberg County between the ice storm warning on one side and the winter storm warning on the other.
Right. So, we just have to see as far as Clarksville goes. Let's see here. Gina Wallace White is asking about Clarksville. And also, while you're doing that, I'm going to look up, I'm going to go back to the radar and look up the thing for Louisville, see if I can help out there some. So if you can answer that question, Mark.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. The Louisville area is in the winter storm warning area. And what they're calling for is like 100% chance of heavy snow, then snow and sleet. And then maybe Sunday night, wintry mix, then freezing rain. And then Monday, wintry mix, then snow showers. So they are looking at new snow and sleet accumulations on Sunday up between 4 to 8 inches possible. And then freezing rain, new sleet accumulations less than half an inch, but between 3/10 and 5.5 inch of ice possible. And then Monday, snow showers, new snow accumulation of around an inch possible. So they're looking at a pretty good dump of snow up across the Louisville area, and also the possibility of sleet and freezing rain along with it.
Yeah, just a second. I'll have that graphic up for you from the Louisville office, which will show everything. Give me just a second longer here. Okay. This is the Louisville office of the National Weather Service. There's Louisville right here, and you can see there's in the blue our winter weather advisories, but right up here, Campbellsville up to E-Town, and even Louisville under the winter storm warning. So I think, Mark, does that mean they're going to get probably a little more, they're going to get more snow than they are ice, aren't they? Is that what that is?
That's kind of what they're calling for. I imagine the snow totals will go down as you get farther south.
Yeah.
But again, and there probably is going to be some sleeting and ice in there along with it. But basically, they're looking to get quite a bit more snow.
Yeah. So I hope that answers your question about the Louisville
and again,
area.
The gradient on this is going to be pretty steep. There's going to be, you could get like an inch in one area and go 50 miles north and have 6 inches.
Okay. So I hope that answers your question. It's going to be the same way. And even down into Tennessee, you can see that even all the border Tennessee counties are also under the winter weather advisory. So this is not confined to just Kentucky. So probably Springfield, Portland, Clarksville, all these areas are under the winter storm winter weather advisory, including Dover and folks down in there. So, yeah, take precautions as you need. And you're welcome, Dill Pickle. He says thank you for this, and we appreciate you watching us. Chrissy M. Nunn Watkins says, what about Hopkinsville? All right, Mark.
Well, Hopkinsville, we are looking for mostly starting out with some freezing rain in the morning. We're looking at anywhere from 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch in our area. Probably 1/10 of an inch would be down toward the south end of the county, Oak Grove, and that's such an area, maybe even a little less for them. But up here, anywhere from 1/10 to 1/4. And then we're going to have rain come in behind that through the afternoon hours tomorrow. We may see a bit of a break in it. And then tomorrow night, we have snow coming in, and we'll have snow continue up until the mid-morning hours, at least on Monday.
So hopefully that answers your questions on that. And as we'll look one more time at what we've got coming out of Paducah. This is the winter weather advisory along this area as we go further west, and here's the ice storm warning, and then the winter storm warning right here. And so we've got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of things are happening. Now, do we have a surprise factor? Mark, do we have a surprise factor in this?
Well, we could have a surprise factor. It all depends on how the low tracks and how much moisture gets wrapped around it. We could get more snow behind it than they're forecasting right now. Or we could have everything shift a little farther south, and that puts everything south of where it is right now. We have to wait and see.
Yeah, so again, don't let your guard down, because what we're saying here is what it looks like right now. Does that mean it's not going to change? Absolutely not. It very well may change. How much snow is expected in the Dover area, according to Robin Walker? And so we're probably looking right now, as things stand, probably less than an inch for the Dover area. But again, we do remind you there could be a surprise factor in this, and we will see what happens. Autumn Boyd says, will roads be okay tomorrow morning in Hopkinsville, 7 a.m. time frame? Autumn, I'm seriously doubt it will. If we get what
it's going to be pretty slick, especially on the bridges and overpasses.
Absolutely. So hopefully we don't get a lot of ice. Now, they have pre-treated the roads. I've seen, I guess every road in our area has been treated already, but that doesn't mean that it won't be overcome by the ice that would be accumulating on it. So you can't take it for granted. Be very careful when you go out. Take it slow. We'll just see. Jacob Gibson, I have the gut feeling in the advisory area that it overperforms, which I guess I'm saying a gut feeling it shifts south. And yeah, we kind of get the same feeling here. We're not really ready to jump out on the limb with it, but just because that there's still some unknown factors taking place, and we don't want to just drop into here and say, well, this ain't going to happen, because it certainly could happen. And so, yeah, we'll just have to watch out for it. Jason Gibson says, but I'm no expert, but we'll be prepared for anything. And that's probably the best thing to do. Prepare as if everything's going to happen, and then hopefully you won't need what you're preparing for, and you'll just have some extra bread and milk to go around or something like that. But anyway.
Billy Joe Billou says, how will Crofton be? I'd say 2/10 to 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah. Now, I did want to tell everybody, we were talking about the snowfall amounts in the future. This is a model rendition. In fact, I think, how did I get to where I can select
down on the bottom?
Down the very bottom?
Oh, no. I want to select a region. It's up in the top left there.
Top left.
Down on the map itself.
Okay. Oh, right here. Okay, I got you. Select sector selection. Is that what we're talking about? All right.
Yep.
So,
there.
Let's try this one. This is a little bit closer rendition, which will cover most of our area. As you can see, this is for Saturday, next Saturday, 1 week from today, total snowfall projection, and this is from a storm that's going to be incoming starting on next Friday. I'll back it up a little bit so you can see as it comes in. You will note there's no ice with this. Thank God. We don't have to worry about ice. But
Nope.
this will be one of those where you can probably enjoy a snowfall. Is it going to be as deep as what this is saying? I mean, we're talking here about 7.2 inches, 6.5. This is a model projection. Do not take that to heart. But this is looking like. I'm sorry.
It looks definitely could be a snow event for us.
Shannon, Shannon says those bouncy icons are cracking me up. That's where people are subscribed. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ginger Hank. I appreciate that. Thank you for subscribing to us. Yeah, we actually had a different one. I think we're going to try to go back to it, but it was awful late last night. The technicians didn't get a chance to finish it all. So, anyway, all right. So this is the storm coming in for next weekend. This is a rendition of what it will look like. This is Saturday the 11th. It's the 03Z. That's oh, good grief.
Samantha Chester. I wouldn't say nothing for Clarksville. I think you could see a trace to to a tenth of an inch of ice down in the Clarksville area. It just depends on how this shifts and how fast it goes through.
Now, like I said, this is the 24-hour snowfall forecast. So when you see it going up and then going back down, this is the actual snowfall forecast for that particular 24-hour period. But it doesn't mean that other snow is just gone away. It's still there. So this could be several inches of snow that comes in upon us. Beginning on Friday the 10th. This is a 12Z. That would be 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Yeah. So 6 a.m. we'll start seeing some snow coming across the area on Friday. So obviously we'll talk more about that as we get closer to it. Let's see how much ice is predicted for Morgantown, Mark.
Morgantown. Let's see.
Let me go up here. Hang on, and I'll find it for you. It is, let's see here, where am I? Okay. Morgantown is, it's real close. Here we go. Just northwest of Bowling Green, between Bowling Green and Hartford.
Well, looking over that way, they are in the winter weather advisory, I think, when they're right
I believe
there.
they are, yeah.
I don't think they've switched over to the ice storm warning or winter storm warning yet.
Right.
So they are probably looking at probably up to maybe a quarter inch of ice and probably on the backside an inch to an inch and a half of snow.
Okay. Jacob Gibson, he's wanting to put us on the spot. Is there any snow chances predicted in the end of January and through February in the Hopkinsville area? I'm going to answer that with one word. Yes.
Yes.
Quite a bit, actually.
Don't ask us how much yet. Yes.
Quite a bit. Melissa Wilson wants to know about Webster County, which is up north of Madisonville.
Right.
Let's see here.
They are probably in the ice storm warning. You're looking at between probably around a half inch of ice, maybe a little bit more. And again, you'll get snow on the backside of that too, probably up to around an inch, inch and a half.
Right. And now Anita Johnson. What about the Elkton, Kentucky area? It's going to be similar to Hopkinsville, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, everything kind of goes in a straight line west to east with this one.
Yeah. And then northern Logan County from Landon Buchanan. Mark?
Northern Logan, looks like it's probably going to be around, again, probably between a tenth and a quarter of an inch of ice. And then coming in on the backside, probably around an inch of snow. Now, guys, I know everybody wants to know exactly what it's going to do for their city, but we're showing you the graphics, and we're trying to tell you all we're doing is just interpreting in there. Look at the graphics as we're showing them to you, and you'll get a pretty good idea of what's coming for your particular town.
Let's see. Do we have good grief, GFS models somewhere? Let me see if I can find it. I want to show them the current. What do you know what it was showing, Mark, for the area for this storm?
Let's see. The GFS for this storm?
I think I'm getting it now. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, tropical tidbits probably.
Yeah. Okay. So
place to find it.
Yeah, I've got it. And let's see. This is the 4th. Let me go ahead and go over here to it. So here we go. This is the 540 line, which is the freezing. It's already pretty much through the area. And we'll watch this as we move forward in time. Here's your current time up here. But here's the Let me see which one that is. Yeah, here's the time it's depicted on the model. So it's 6 p.m. today, and we go forward. There's midnight, and here's 6 a.m. By 6 a.m., you see that it is well into us. Looks like that Hopkinsville, Madisonville, everybody's getting a little sleet right there. The ice looks like it's confined right along the Tennessee-Kentucky border. It's in a narrow band there. And then as we move forward, you see that it pretty well overtakes the whole place. And then there's the rain as warmer temperatures try to move up. You see this red line right here. So the warmer temperature is starting to move up, which changes it over to to rain. And then we get some pretty strong storms there, Mark. Look at that.
Yes, indeed. We haven't really talked about it a whole lot,
No, we
but down
haven't.
south of Memphis area and down along the Mississippi-Louisiana border, they are looking for a pretty good chance for severe weather today, possibly even tornadoes. It's not going to be as big of an outbreak as last weekend was, but they're definitely looking for the possibility of that. And then a straight line wind gust threat as that forms up into a line and moves off to the east.
Latoya Robinson, can y'all not see my comments? Let me see if I can find you, Latoya. There's so many people talking at us. Sometimes they slip through, and I haven't seen your comment yet. So I'll watch for it. If you can tell me what it was you were wanting to ask, I'll be glad to answer it for you. Also, just so you all know, these are some fairly strong storms coming over us. But look where the low pressure is, down here around Memphis, Mark. That's what I was telling you earlier.
Okay,
This
yeah.
is the model that shows the low down there and not over the top of us. So what is that going to do? That's a big difference.
It doesn't really change the precip depiction on it, though, does it?
No, not really. Melanie Whit Beeks, Franklin, Kentucky. That's where my sister is. So Franklin is about the same as the rest of us. I don't see anything in the way of serious power outages there. I think you're looking at less than probably around 1/10 of an inch of ice at your location in Franklin. So that will be a good thing. That is if everything holds true to form the way it looks right now. Deborah Sell says, "Hey, David, Mark, and all my snow buddies and icicle friends. We can still pray for all snow." Yes, we can. But if it's a cross between having to choose between snow and rain, I'll choose anything but the ice. I don't care which one we get as long as it's not ice. Let's see. Jacob Gibson does
I
the
can
low.
agree with that.
Yeah, Jacob Gibson wants to know, says the low being further south changed where the 540 line is I'm assuming. I don't know.
It might, but they're not actually showing on the depiction. And if you do the regional outlook, for that
Yeah.
that shows Kentucky, it still shows that low coming right across the south part of Kentucky.
I think Eric Brake says it best. He says freezing rain in the morning, thunderstorms midday, and snow Sunday and evening. Sounds like a thunderstorm sandwich.
Sounds like a typical day in Kentucky to me.
Latoya Robinson says, "What about ice for Bowling Green tomorrow, Mark?"
As we said earlier, I think we're looking at around 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of ice for the Bowling Green area. It's
Right.
under the winter weather advisory as well.
Absolutely.
And then with the snow coming in behind, maybe an inch.
Yep. So let's just hope that those storms don't get wound up because they are looking pretty raucous there. And, so that'd be a good time if you have your storm shelter and make sure you got it all set up. In fact, if you don't have a storm shelter, boy, have I got something to show you. Take a look at this. What would you do when severe storms with tornadoes threaten you and your family? If you have planned properly, you will have a storm shelter nearby that is strong, safe, and will save your family's life. Mid-South storm shelters provide just that. They blend well with the landscape and are proven lifesavers. When the weather gets severe, have no fear with a Mid-South storm shelter. Call today at 270-725-6020. And folks, let me remind you, don't wait to the last minute to get that storm shelter ordered if you don't have one. They're very reasonable in pricing. Give those guys a call. They know what they're doing, and they'll be able to get you a storm shelter. You want to do it before March. I sure do not want to see any of you have to go through those bad storms in March without some kind of shelter to get into. Give them a call, price them, talk to them. They're great guys. I think you'll enjoy working with them. And even if they don't sell you a storm shelter, you can get some information from them. I'm sure they'll be glad to share the information, as will Michael Vance on your roofing. If you have roofing issues, call Michael Vance, Contracting Roofing, at 270-707-ROOF. Let me tell you, Michael has some knowledge. I mean, he's taught me some things about roofing I didn't know. So if you have any questions, give him a call. He'll be glad to talk to you. He also has Lakeside Campground Marina, which we'll talk more about as the spring approaches. And yeah, fishing season is going to come back. It's going to be nice. We're going to get through all this icy stuff, and we'll have better days. I do want to see a decent snow. I know most of you do. Make some snow cream and everything. Eat a few bowls of it, and then we'll be ready for springtime. So if that helps you, Eddie. Also, I saw Chris Meacham says he's going to need some salve from the store for his wrist. So that is my cue to talk about my good friend Katie Moyer at Kentucky Hemp Works. She's got some salve that is absolutely to kill for. Take a look at this. Anytime my aches and pains act up, I always reach for Kentucky Hemp Works Hemp Root Salve. It's easy to use. Just rub it on the affected areas and you will soon notice big relief. You can use it as a moisturizing lip balm or ointment that heals and protects your lips during adverse weather conditions and helps with preventing chapped lips. This amazing Kentucky Hemp Works salve is available in our online store at dpww.shop. Order today. And I tell you, Katie sold several of those. It's starting to, people are starting to discover it and they're ordering it. And so I'm glad that things are going well. You can order that through our online store at dpww.shop. And there's some instructions there on what to order, how to order it, and all that. So you'll find that. Plus, you'll find some of our merchandise, koozies and other things, little coffee cups and things. So get on there. And then our main store is going to come online sometime within the next week or so. I think the only thing we're waiting on is a domain name. It's shopweatherandwisdom.com. And I think you will really, really see great clothing items and things. You'll like it. So anyway, I've done my due diligence. So here we go. Let's go back to our radar. And
someone earlier up the chat asked about Kansas City, how much ice they were going to get. They're looking for maybe a total of about 0.2 of an inch of ice, but they are looking for probably 4 to 8 inches or more of snow.
Yeah.
Out of this storm coming in, and then below zero wind chills on Sunday night as this system starts to roll on through.
Let's see. Kay Simmons says, so we're having everything but a sandstorm. That's about right, I guess.
Wait.
Yeah. Don't say it too loud. Paula Wagner says, I'm ready for spring. Well, before this winter's over, we're all going to be ready for spring. You can take my word for that. And then, so as we go, got a lot of people joining us from the Facebook page, David Powell Weather and Wisdom Facebook page. And hey, there's Sierra Taylor. Hey, Sierra, hope you're doing well. She says she's checking in. I love the way she always says, hey. Oh, my goodness. But anyway, so what was it I was going to say here? I had something important.
Wesley Lynn, yes, 1/2 to 3/4 inch of ice is what they're looking for in Hopkins County. That's going to be their big danger. And then by Monday morning, they're going to be looking at snow coming in as well. Probably just like us, between an inch and a half, maybe a little bit more up that way. They're actually showing more snow totals as we go north.
Yeah. Shay Watts says, Mike is a great person. Let's see, who's she talking? What Mike is she talking about here? Thanks, guys, for keeping us informed. Let's see here. Wesley Lynn says, thank you, Mark. I'm looking for Mike. That reminds me of that commercial with the camel. Hey,
could be Michael Vance.
Oh, that's right. That's who she's talking about.
We just showed his commercials.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Hey, I'll have to use that. Hey, Mike. Well, guess what day it is?
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
In this case, the first day of the year was hump day.
That's true. Penny Howard says, how much ice and snow in Russellville? That's a good question. We haven't had that in a while. I'm going to go back over. I want to finish out this model run on the GFS. This was showing up on 6 p.m. on the 5th, which is tomorrow.
Right.
And so then as we go past it, now see there, it takes the low right up right over the top of us. It's just,
Uh-huh.
it looks like a sharp turn in the north. I don't know. That's just where we talk about the surprise factor. We'll have to see if that's in fact what does happen. So anyway, we go and play it through, and then here's at 6 a.m. on Monday, and you can see snow showers are breaking out around us, and some of that snow could be quite brisk, and it looks like it goes on for about 12 hours. Could we get some precipitation, some snowfall accumulation? Yeah, we could. We just have to
Hmm.
see. We just have to see.
Right now, they're calling for up to an inch in our area,
Mhm.
right here in Christian County. But again, it could a lot of factors could come in there that could change that.
Haley Blankenship says, "How's Hopkinsville Day?" Well, it's doing. It's going to be interesting to see. I think Hopkinsville is going to be okay in this. I don't expect widespread power outages. I hope not, because I didn't get my generator ready in time. I was so busy working on these models and working with Mark here, trying to get ready for the next broadcast. It's hard to stop and do anything else. In fact, I'm not even sleeping much at night. You guys should be in my shoes sometime and see how many calls and things I get. But anyway, let's see here. So Shelley Lazowski says, how much ice and snow in Clarksville? So Shelley, I think that you will see snow falling. I think you'll get some ice, probably no more than a tenth of an inch at the most. And as far as snow goes, I say that you will see it falling. Maybe, my goodness, I got all these little jumpy round characters up here. Molly Zimmer has subscribed. Thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate that. You guys don't know how much that benefits this channel. Anyway, excuse me for just a moment here. So we were talking about Clarksville. As far as snow goes, probably a trace, maybe a half inch at the most. We'll see. Nanda Morris Fowler, so good to get your updates. I'm in Fredonia, and it doesn't look good about the ice. It does not look good in Fredonia, does it, Mark? That's up there around Kantawa. I lost your audio.
I had it muted because they were running the garage door again.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, up around Katawa, up on the north end of the lakes, you're right on the line with all this stuff. So, and again, the gradient could be pretty steep between just getting like a tenth of an inch of ice or a little bit of nothing and getting like a quarter inch to a half inch of ice up that way. So be ready.
Are we getting anything in Guernsey County, Ohio, from Travis Neely? That's one to talk about. Mark, what about
Guernsey County, Ohio? Goodness gracious.
Give us a county seat for that. That might help. Well, you've got that way to do that in there. By the way, Amy says we just broke 5,600 subscribers. So, yahoo! That's nice. Thank you so much, guys. If you want to subscribe, you get to see that little squirrely thing jumping up and down on the screen here. That's why I can't read the names too well, but I can look over and kind of see who has subscribed. But I appreciate that. It does help because that's what's allowing us to bring you this technology to you. I'm going to continue this model run. Let's go on through. I want to see if it shows anything on the 9th. And there
Guernsey
it is.
County is way over in Ohio, about halfway between Columbus and the West Virginia border. So let me look up that way and see what the weather is going to be like.
And what we're looking at here on this model run, this is a different model than what we were looking at a while ago. This is the GFS. We were looking at the ECMWF a little while ago. So we've got two models now showing this snowfall coming in. Look at all those jumpy things. Leslie Haskin, thank you so much for subscribing to us. I appreciate that. I didn't catch the other name, but I do appreciate both of you. But anyway, this is two models showing same storm. So that tells you something is going to happen. And look at that. It's moderate snow, it looks like. This could be a big one. Again, there's January the 11th. That's on a Saturday. And then 6 a.m. on the 11th. It looks like it's, still in there around noon on the 11th. It's still going.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it only starts to end by evening.
Yeah, so we're looking at a good 24, 36, 48-hour storm there. So that could be some pretty good sized snowfall. Let's see here. Virginia Poland says, my kid says you have to flush ice. Hold on a minute. say you have to flush ice and leave a white crayon on your window ledge to bring on the snow. You know, I heard school teachers tell me about that too. I heard that once before from a school teacher. That's what they do. They have this little group of teachers when they don't want to go to school the next day. They have this dance they do. Then they do flush ice down the toilet, and they use white crayons on something. And there was one other thing they did. I can't remember quite what it was, but anyway.
Yeah. Hang on there. The question about Oklahoma. We'll get to that in a minute.
We haven't forgotten you. Let's see. Terry Freeman says, look at what this model shows for Massville, 0.16 inches of ice. That's not much at all, only a glaze. I do hope this downward trend continues. Please tell me this is true. Terry, I hope that's correct. Let me go back to it where we were here.
Yeah. While you're asking for the Guernsey County, Ohio, they're not expecting the snow to come in till snow showers on Sunday night, and their snow showers are going to accumulate 4 to 6 inches. Their low is going to be around 90% chance of snow. And then Monday, snow showers likely, mainly in the morning, additional snow accumulations possible. And that's about a 70% chance. So Guernsey County, Ohio is going to get a pretty good amount of snow. They don't have any ice mentioned in their forecast. So.
Yeah. Also, I have the other model here up that shows the total ice accumulation for this event. I take that back. That's January 10th, but that's still the same thing. We back it on up. It just takes the stuff out of the bottom down here. Almost there. Okay, so this is Monday the 6th, this coming Monday, where this shows the total ice accumulation across the area. And you can see where Mark was talking about up along the Ohio, Mississippi River, anywhere from an inch to inch and a half of ice. That's going to be devastating for those folks up there. I'm sure there'll be widespread power outages up there, and it's not going to be a pleasant place to live. But you know, as I look around some of the rest of the places here, especially along the Kentucky-Tennessee border, I don't see too much to be worried about. This shows a little bit more, I think, than what it actually is expected. But even with less than a half inch, I think we're still going to be in good shape. This may be reflective of the downward trend we were seeing in the, southward trend we were seeing in the low pressure, which may be why it's showing a little bit higher amounts now. So this gives you an idea. Again, it's nothing to be overly concerned about. Just be sure and use good safety procedures and take care of all the things you need to take care of. Let's see here. Linda McElrath says, I'm getting my crayons out now. Oh, my goodness. Phyllis Kill Anthony's getting on late. What should Clarksville expect? So let's hit Clarksville up again, Mark.
Okay, Clarksville probably up to it about at 1/10 of an inch of ice possible starting out, and then probably just plain rain, switching over in the overnight hours to maybe a light snow, and they may get just a dusting to about a half inch.
Okay. And I concur.
And, that Oklahoma forecast, for the most of Oklahoma, there's a lot of it that's under a high wind warning or a wind advisory.
Wow.
So they're going to get some gusty winds. There's probably our sandstorm.
Yeah.
But in the northern counties and along the panhandle, they are in for a winter weather advisory. And again, their winter weather advisory is looking for up to total snow accumulations of up to 1 inch with localized amounts closer to 2 inches. Blowing snow and reduced visibilities with wind gusts up to 40 to 50 miles an hour and a glaze of ice accumulation. So there you have it. In the panhandle of Oklahoma, they're going to get a little bit of this too.
Okay, I was messing my mic, see if I had any changes in this, and I have not. So at least you can still hear me. Dave says grocery stores are packed. All I needed was a loaf of bread. Oh my goodness! And I vouch for
Yeah,
that. I mean, it's the same way down here too, Dave. I went to one of the stores just a little while ago, and man, they were packed. Um, let's
Angie
see here.
Bell, Burlington is right south of Madisonville and north of Christian County. Probably you're right in the edge of this. You'll probably get around a quarter of an inch of the ice, maybe a little bit more, and then probably about an inch of snow when it comes in tomorrow night.
Well, let's see here. I'm trying to look at the GFS model again. Here we go. Okay, this was January 12th. Let's look on out a little bit. Some of you might be interested in what we have coming even after that. It's going to go out for a little way. Let's see if it'll show us the next storm.
Darlene Gregory, you're in Gracie and totally confused. You don't need to be confused. You're in part of Christian County here, so you're probably just going to get maybe about a tenth of an inch, maybe up to a quarter of an inch. You're right on the line for that of ice accumulation out of that starting in the early morning hours in the morning and going through mid-morning tomorrow. Then it'll change over to all rain. Then after that, tomorrow night, we will probably see snow come in, snow and snow flurries come in, and we could get up to about an inch of that.
And I'm going back to the models again. This is a GFS run, a little different than the one we were on a little bit ago. So here we go. This is, of course, the one that's coming in tonight. Now, Mark, look at this. No, I take that back. What did it do? It jumped. Okay, it looks like it jumped from the one today till back up a little bit more.
That's the one today.
That's what I thought. Okay, here we go. Now that's about right. Okay, so this is where it looks like. But look at the position of the model on this model. Look at the position of the low. It's completely different. So I don't know what to make of that. And again, it does show some pretty good rain there, and then it comes up over the top of us with the ice moved on up towards the Ohio River, which would be good news for everybody in the western Kentucky. I'm not sure I buy it completely, but then as the cold air moves in behind it, here comes the snow, and there's another 6 hours, and then another 6 hours still snowing. So we'll get snow for about 12 hours, it looks like, behind this low as it continues to move on off to the east. And we'll keep watching this. There's the 8th, 9th, which is, I think, Friday. And then there's early the 10th, which is next Saturday. And we already are getting snow from the second storm. Now, what's happening is there's another disturbance going to be coming down. It's going to take moisture from this storm here along the Gulf Coast. That could cause us to have a pretty significant snowfall. In fact, that's exactly what it's looking like. As we go into, this is 6 a.m. on Saturday morning the 10th. And then it's snowing through the noon. 6 p.m. still snowing, and snowing pretty hard. And then on the 11th, midnight, still snowing. And 6 a.m., it looks like it's finally coming to an end. So we've got a good, 24 hours of snowfall coming down, and that looks like a pretty steady snow. So don't think we have been left out of the snow. We have not. I do want to look at Zoom Earth, which is where we always look and see what's coming at us. This is a live satellite image. Let me see what time is it anyway, Mark? Okay, 4:32. Probably got one more.
Yeah, it's 3:40 here. Yeah. Logan County, the northern parts of Logan County are probably going to get more ice. The southern parts a little bit less.
Yep.
Probably between a tenth and a quarter of an inch. And then probably turn over to all rain through the afternoon hours tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, we'll turn back over to snow. And then as we run into the early morning hours and through the day on Monday, we probably could get in Logan County maybe about an inch and a half.
Okay. Amy's here at the studio, but she's busy in other areas, but she's on with us a little bit, saying hello to everyone. Let's see here. Tori Sheriff, I think. Pembroke, Kentucky is what she's looking for. Pretty much going to be the same as Hopkinsville, I guess. About anywhere between a tenth up to as much as maybe 2/10 of an inch of ice.
Mm-hmm.
and
That's about right.
with snow on the backside. Again, we will see. That is the surprise we may have to work with as it comes in. But anyway, now this is a look at the satellite. The reason I'm looking at this because I'm going to go over here to the wind fields and we'll spot those storms. Here's the ones coming in right now. You can kind of see it. It's more of a trough all through here. But then if you go out here into the Pacific, wow, look at that. That is a wound up storm. That one's coming in. It will come ashore. That's probably the Aleutian low right here, Mark, I think.
Probably
Yeah.
in that region anyway.
Yeah. So we've got, there's a little storm right there, one right here, trough right there. Looks like maybe another storm right here, Aleutian low there. And so we're looking at 4, 5, 6 storms out there in the Pacific right now that would affect us. But the big thing is let's look at this right here. Look at this. You know what that is? Mark, you know what that is?
That's the polar vortex.
That's
isn't it?
exactly what that is. That's the polar vortex. Let's look at the temperatures. And look how cold it is there. 22, 25 below zero, 30, 31 below zero. Right where you saw it circling. This is the polar vortex where it's located right this moment. The circulation. And look what it's dragging down this way. The sudden stratospheric warming event occurred, oh gosh, it's been right at 11, 12 days ago. And this is the result. This air is fixing to zoom right on in here to us. And it's going to get really cold. And then even up here, there's still plenty of cold air up here in the Arctic. All this up in the northern hemisphere. Look at this. Even Alaska is getting in on the act. It's 47 degrees below zero up here, 48 just north west of Fairbanks. And man, that is some cold air. It is coming. Right now it is 8 degrees in Minneapolis. But as you get further south, you see that you even got just really cold temperatures. We saw it on some of the cameras we were looking at a little while ago. But the polar vortex is at play, and we will see that. There it is. That's called the Hudson Bay vortex. And then this is a big storm off. Gosh, that is a pretty powerful storm too. Looks like winds are 54 miles an hour, but that's offshore. I don't know is that what you'd call a nor'easter, Mark?
No, because it's not on land. That's just a North
True.
Atlantic
Okay.
storm.
I got you. Okay. So anyway, just so you know, look at this. Look at Greenland. Greenland has a lot of cold air too. If I go back to the temperatures, it is well below zero. All this purple area is below zero in Greenland. And so yeah, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of cold air out there. So what we're doing right now, we're just now scratching the surface on it. This is stuff that's going to be affecting us for the next few weeks to come. The cold air is not going to relinquish too much. And anyway, so let's see. Let's go back over here to our chat box. David, the 10th is Friday. That doesn't surprise me. I'm probably, yeah, that's right, because the 11th was Saturday. That's correct. I am sorry. You're absolutely correct. So we'll start seeing that stuff come in by the evening of that Thursday, then the 9th, and then really start taking hold on the 10th, which is next Friday. Chuck Youngkin, hi to all from Skywarn Spotter 135. How you doing, Chuck? I'm sure my people will be glad to hear from you. Let's see here.
Kenton County, that's up right on the border near Cincinnati. And they're under the winter storm warning. They're expecting snow up that way for the most part. Snow and sleet, 4 to 8 inches.
Okay. I'm going to go back over to our radar now, real
Lexington is about the same. They are also in that. They may see a little bit more ice than up around Cincinnati area. But they're looking for like maybe 1/10 of an inch of ice and more of the heavy snow up that way. And again, 4 to 8 inches, I believe, is what they're calling for.
I'm looking at Buxico, Missouri live camera. It's 34 degrees there, but just off to their west, there's some snow falling. At least it looks like there is. Looks like
Something starting in that area.
it might have a little fire over here that side, but looks like the clouds are lowering and thickening. M. Orola, thank you for subscribing. I sure appreciate that. It means a lot. I can't begin to tell you guys how important those subscriptions are. YouTube says, well, they'll give us a certain amount of money on the number of subscribers we have. And so we try to take that and we upgrade our equipment. I'll show you what this radar does. Let's go in here. Let's look at this. Let's go down here to Piedmont. And we can see there's a mixture of snow. But look at these little gray blocks here. These are actual houses and buildings. And if you get on down here a little closer, you can see outbuildings. There's probably a barn right there. And I can go kind of sit, let's see here. You can see house numbers. This is Beckville Road, so that's 319 Beckville Road, it looks like. Oh, 309, I'm sorry, 309 Beckville Road. So I can actually look and see house numbers, see what street they're on. It may be a little hard if you see the street names at home. Let me see if I can go a little closer. That's about the maximum, so you might be able to read the names there. But this gives you an idea of the capabilities we have. All of these are getting a mixture of rain and snow because you see the blue and green mixed together. And as I pull out, you can see pretty much everything you need to see. So that's what it looks like. That's some of the technology we have. We have other things we can do. These live cameras are also pretty neat. You can go in, let's see, let's find one that we can actually look at. Let's look at Union City, Tennessee. Of course, they got... Looks like they've had some icing on their lens, but nothing much there. 37 degrees, so it's probably just moisture. Oh, I know what our favorite spot to look at. Let's go over to Erwin, Tennessee, and see the mountains over there. This is in eastern Tennessee, 21 degrees up on Pinnacle Tower, and look at the afternoon they've got. Beautiful. But look, they've got a little skiff of snow on the ground there. We saw that yesterday, I think, when it was snowing. Right pretty. And of course, these are the mountains this tower is used to spot for any forest fires that occur. And so we actually, when we first found this camera, they hadn't moved it too much, and it was showing part of the tower next to us. It's off over here to the left, and we could see a forest ranger out there in his shorts with his clipboard, looking at everything. I thought it's pretty neat, So. This is a live shot, though. All these cameras are live. They're not any recordings. You're looking at them live as it's actually happening and as they are there. But what a beautiful shot. And that's in eastern Tennessee. This is one of the cities that was hit by the flooding from Hurricane Helene. There's the interstate right there. You can see traffic moving along it pretty good. A little tractor trailer going by. So, yeah, it's a beautiful shot. Amanda just subscribed. Hey, thanks, Amanda. I appreciate that. I'm kind of like, who was it? Was it Sarah? No, it was Shannon says she loves the little jumpy things.
Yeah, little bouncy ones.
Yeah, little bouncy ones. Okay, let's look at Burnsville, North Carolina. Again, another mountain shot. This is close to Irwin. It's a little further to the south. They also were getting snow. This is actually an airstrip. You can see the airplanes there. A little airstrip up on top of a mountain with a golf course there. So not sure much about this place, but it is a nice looking shot, and what a beautiful sight. Look at that. Nice late afternoon sun, early January, ahead of an ice storm and snow and all kinds of stuff.
Snowstorm.
Yeah, all kinds
Actually,
of things.
over that way, it's in that area in Asheville. Looks like they are probably in a winter weather advisory.
Yeah.
Over that way too.
It's currently 35 degrees.
Warning
there.
may be up toward Irwin.
Yeah. Lynn Reynolds says that's awesome live cams. Let's see here. Hey, Jess Madden, Mermaid Cakes is on. Says hey to everyone over here on Facebook. She's on the Dave Powell Weather and Wisdom Facebook page where we're simulcasting. So if you're watching on Facebook, it's simulcast from YouTube over there. So everybody gets to see the broadcast and stay up to date on things. Let's see here.
Deborah K. Murphy is saying hi from Clarksville, Tennessee, and she wants to know if they'll get ice and snow Sunday morning or Sunday night. You may get up to around a trace to 1/10 of an inch of snow on Sunday morning, and then it'll change to rain, and then Sunday night it'll change back over to snow late Sunday night, and you could get up to maybe 1/2 inch to around 1 inch.
Yep. So that gives you an idea. Your subscriptions mean a lot to us being able to bring this to you, and hopefully we can keep it going. And I want to make sure that you guys are enjoying this. You're getting the information you need. Our whole purpose to this is to save lives, especially when severe weather breaks out. We really excel at that because Mark and I both have been involved in severe storms for many, many years, been closer to tornadoes than I care to talk about. Right, Mark?
Yes, indeed.
There's been a few that, in fact, you see Mark's hair's turned white. Mine's got some white in it, so we've been through it. We know
Yeah,
what
you
it's like.
never know. I'm only 30 years old.
That's
I'm
right.
kidding.
That's right. But yeah, we have been through it, and so we don't take that stuff lightly. We've you know, I'll never forget my good friend Tim Samaras, who was on the TV show Storm Chasers, and you know, he put on his Facebook page he was actually a member of our group, and he became a close friend. And of course, he and his whole team were wiped out in El Reno whenever that big tornado occurred, and boy, it was a terrible loss. So there is an element of danger in what we do, but we're going to try to do our best with this new technology to keep everybody safe, because now we can really help. From in here in the studio, we can actually go to those tornadoes and zoom in on them, tell you everything about them, thanks to this type of radar we've got and all the different tools we have at our disposal. So hopefully you will see the benefits of that when the severe weather starts breaking out. And even in the future snows that are coming, there's some new snowstorm. I know we're looking at least 2 to 3 more storms with snow potential in them.
And that's just in January.
Just in January. Now, normally you get a January thaw, which is about a week in January where the temperatures rise just a little bit. That's why they call it the January thaw. And then it goes away, and then February comes in with a vengeance normally. And so we will see if that turns out to be the case this year. I'm going to look back here at Dragon Nation, see if they're getting anything yet. I don't see anything falling there. So still 21 degrees. That's pretty doggone chilly. I keep looking for something. This is all in Missouri, though. This shows you how close this is getting. This is just like the pre-parts of the storm. And some of this may not be hitting the ground. As you see, it's a little rain to start off with, and as the temperatures start dropping as they are, you see the snow mixing in, maybe a little bit of sleet back here, and looks like pretty decent snow, but I don't have a camera close to those right now. So it'll be a while if they get down here. We've got several cameras here grouped together. I'll see what this one has. This is near Poplar Bluff, Boycom, Missouri, and it's a nice little residential area, but I don't see anything falling. Let's check another one.
Deborah Sale, really?
What'd she say?
Chattanooga, Greenville, and Gainesville, Florida.
Boy, she wants to keep us busy, doesn't she?
She does. Chattanooga's just going to get mainly rain out of this. Their highs are going to be in the 40s. Overnight lows are going to stay in the 30s to low 40s until Monday night. Then they drop down, but they won't have any precip by then. Greenville, South Carolina, they're just looking at, let me get to it here. They're looking for highs in the 40s, lows in the 20s tonight, and then lows in tomorrow night in the low 30s. But they're just looking for rain, and then clearing out again as we head through the rest of the week. Highs in the 40s, lows in the 20s. And Gainesville, Florida. Gainesville, Florida is under a freeze warning.
Yeah, that's right. This cold air is going to extend all the way down into Florida when it gets.
Yeah, their overnight low tonight is looking for a low of 35, so right down to freezing. Monday night their low is 32. Tomorrow night their low is 53. So again, Monday they're looking for a high of 72. Monday night they're looking for a low of 32, and a high of on Tuesday of only 51. So all those Florida people are going to be freezing.
Now, if you wonder what I'm doing over here on this, I'm looking at a buoy out in the Gulf of Mexico, and we have the ability with this radar to do that, especially helpful during the hurricane season. But it's giving you, it has 4 cameras on it that gives you a shot of each camera. It rotates through it, and this is solar powered. So once it gets dark, the power goes out on these, and we don't see them again until it gets sunlight back on them. But you can see right now the air temperature there is 58 degrees and the sea water temperature is 68. So The Gulf waters have cooled quite a bit over the last couple of months compared to what they were. But I just thought you'd like to see that some of the other capabilities this radar has. And again, we've got cameras all over the place. Here's one. Let's see if I can get into this one. It's got a buoy right on top of it, so if I don't hit it just right. Pascagoula. Here we go. This is the Emergency Management Office there in Jackson County. And you can see this is Pascagoula, Mississippi. I guess that's part of the Gulf right there, because this is right on the Gulf. So, this is the Gulf right here. So, you can see it's pretty quiet evening. It's a Saturday evening. Some people going to church. Maybe that's a wedding going on there or something. You got any rice we could throw at them? No, just joking. Okay, but anyway, this gives you an idea of things that we can do. Again, this is what your subscriptions help us to do, is to support our software and to help us keep it all in good working order. This is Hinds County, Mississippi EMA, another quiet little city. Clouds are about like what they were here. Is it cloudy out there now? I can't even see outside, Mark.
It's gotten a little bit cloudy out there, yeah.
I'm going to look at UT Martin because that's right to our southwest. That'll tell me, well, yeah, there are the clouds. So, yeah, it's a live shot from Martin, Tennessee, and just to our southwest. We use this camera a lot because some of our weather comes from the southwest. And what the weather they're having here usually ends up over us. So, yeah, you can see the clouds certainly on the increase with this storm approaching already. And so that's an idea of what we're going to be facing later on this evening. And I would imagine that by, around 4 a.m. we would start seeing the actual precip get into us.
Yes, indeed.
So you can see here's the leading edge of it already. We're starting to see it. So anyway, let's see. Don Cagle says, I'm in Pensacola, but we have a home also in Madisonville. Don? The only thing wrong with you is that you didn't invite Mark and I along too, because we would love to be in Florida right about now. But Madisonville is going to get some pretty good icy stuff. Hopefully, it's not going to be too damaging, but they'll be on the edge of it. I think they'll be okay. Linda Avery says, "What about Hopkinsville?" Hopkinsville is going to be pretty good. I'm not as concerned about power outages there. And the longer we go, and I don't see a major shift in anything. Do you, Mark? Do you see?
No, they haven't really updated anything quite yet. They'll probably wait till a little bit later this evening before they update any of the graphics or anything to do with the forecast. But for right now, everybody's just holding on and waiting for it to start because, as I said, the storm out west that's causing all this is just now getting wound up. So exactly where it's going to track, we'll probably won't have a good idea on that till later on this evening or early tomorrow morning.
That's right. So, again, I appreciate everything you guys are doing for us by subscribing and watching us and telling us what you think of the channel. Robert Tyree says, "Hey, David, thanks for your hard work." From Robert Tyree. Robert used to be a member of our team. He's got tied up and couldn't participate as much as he used to, but we sure do still value his company and his patience and his support. Don Cagle is laughing at me.
Yeah.
I swear, you guys are a lot of fun. I love you a lot. But she's laughing at me because of we didn't get invited to Pensacola, Florida with her, so that's all right. I won't forget that, Don. Just remember that.
Yeah. Kay Wells is asking about Paducah.
Okay.
And Paducah, they're in the winter weather advisory. They're right on the edge of where the ice storm is. They're looking at between a tenth and a quarter inch of ice accumulation as this starts and moves through in the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning. And then again, they'll probably switch over to rain for a while and then switch back over to snow. And they're looking for, again, snow, probably something along the lines of around an inch.
Hey, we'll look off to the west-northwest. Here's the beginnings of the makings of the storm. You can already see the ice and sleet in the pink area and the snow in the blue area. So, yeah, this thing is still coming. There's no doubt it's going to get here. The question is, how much are we going to get, and what will the temperatures be like when it gets here, and what's the exact track of that low going to be? That's the only $99 question we have left to answer. We know that it's going to be followed by some very cold air. The cold air is coming. We do know that for a fact. So there's some things we can be sure of in the forecast, and the other thing is that we're going to get some precipitation. The big question is exactly when will that occur, and
Yeah.
what type it will be. Billy
You know,
Daniel, go ahead.
out in central Kansas with this, Kansas City and north and to the west, not quite, about halfway to the Colorado border from Kansas City, they have a blizzard warning now.
Whoa, that would be say around Kansas City. Let's see if Dragon Nation is getting anything yet. Nothing yet. We still keep looking. I always see is an empty field, and looks like there's a lot of stuff in the sky there. I don't see anything coming down that I can make out just yet. So
Yeah.
they're 21 degrees though. That's pretty cold. This is just north of Kansas City.
Yeah, it runs into northern Missouri, north of Kansas City, over a few counties.
Okay. So
Over by Purdon, Missouri, and stuff like that, you're under a blizzard warning and a winter storm warning.
what's the name of the town of Missouri? Purdon?
Purdon, Missouri.
Purdon, Missouri. I'm looking. Well, it's going a little closer. I don't see it. Mark's probably trying to mess with me, having me look for something that's 100 miles away.
Purdon, Missouri is, looks like, good grief, there's nothing really close to it that I can describe here. It's just if you go to Kansas City and you go to the northeast, past Chillicothe and up that direction, you get to Purdon, Missouri. So we're looking at the counties up there.
I found it right here.
Yeah, north of the St. Louis, Kansas City line.
And they're currently getting nothing, but look back here at the snow. I think that's moving in that direction. Let's put it in motion. Yes, it is.
It certainly is.
So Purdon will
And
be getting
again,
their snow.
they're in a blizzard warning.
I wonder how many of you on here watching would like to go up there and get in the middle of that blizzard. Jacob Gibson, I'd like to experience a blizzard once in my life. Well, drive to Purdon, Missouri, you will. I see our technician sneaking in behind you in there. That green Mustang. What about Madisonville, Kentucky? Sorry, just now tuning in. Okay, Mark, let's talk about Madisonville for him.
Okay, let's talk about Madisonville. Madisonville is in a ice storm warning right now. They're looking at between a quarter and a half inch of ice, and then a good chance for maybe an inch and a half of snow coming in behind it in the overnight hours tomorrow. The ice is mainly going to accumulate between the early morning hours in the morning and about mid-morning to midday. Then it's going to probably change over to rain. And then tomorrow night, after midnight, it's going to change back over to snow.
Leon Shirk says they have a big auction going on in Fairview next Friday. He wants to know what the snow looks like. Let me see if I've got this set up right here. Hold on just a second. I'll see if I can't show him something. Hold on a minute. We'll go ahead and look at the GFS. This is for January 10th. This would be Friday, right? Friday the 10th. Is that correct?
I don't know. You're still showing Omega.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now, let me get my button right. This is for Friday the 10th at midnight, going into the 10th. And here is what's coming up towards us. Let me get it where I can control it a little bit. What have they done to me? Have they they've gone out, and this is the start of a new run, so doggone it. All right, let me see if COD, let's look at.
Yeah, we're just starting the 18Z run on the models.
So that's what they're doing. So let me see if I can get anything. This would be for the 15th. Let's go back. Here's
our first storm.
Yeah, so we'll go on past that. There's the 7th, 8th. 9th. And here comes the second one. Now look, you can see this right here, that the snowfall totals are increasing. That's because the storm is now starting to take shape. And it jumps. That's because the model run has jumped out of us. So by the 9th.
You went all the way to the end instead of the next one.
All right, let's try backing it up then. Each one's a little bit different. Okay, this is Saturday the 11th. With that storm coming in, good grief. All right, this is 6th, 7th, 8th. Keep an eye on the snow totals here along the Christian County area. And let's keep going. 9th. And then here comes the storm. You see our precip totals start picking up. This is on Saturday the 10th. No, Friday's the 10th. Yeah, Friday's the 10th. And then Saturday the 11th, it looks like we have 5.9 inches on the ground, 7.6 before that day is over. And it just keeps on getting better. So it looks like by the end of the 11th, we will have a significant snow, 7.8 inches, but this is a snowfall estimate. This does not mean that there will be that much snow on the ground, although it could be, because we do have another model that shows the same thing, maybe not quite as much snowfall, but I'm telling you right now, we've got some snow coming. So I hope that answered your question. Let's see, who is it? Leon Shirk was asking the question about that. This is auction event in Fairview next Saturday. What does the snow forecast look like? And I just showed it to you. Let's see here.
Kay Wells is asking for an ice accumulation.
Okay, ice. So let's see if we can't find that. Don't find it. They don't have it on the COD, do they?
They have it on the COD. Is that what you're on?
Yes.
I don't think so. You're on Pivotal Weather.
Oh, good grief. All right, hold on. I'll go to COD and find it. Here we go. Here's the ice accumulation. This is for what time period was she wanting?
She was just looking for
ice accumulation map. Okay, yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
This is the map. And so, like I said, this shows a little bit more than what we actually expect. I'm not sure why they've got a little different, but up to 0.4 of an inch in Christian County and along the border here. I think this is just let's see.
maybe a little overblown. Just
I think
a hair.
so. Yeah, this is the.
And it's a total accumulation, so
That's
that
true.
may be.
That's true. And maybe considering the liquid amount that is looked to come in, they may consider that going to be changed over to ice, but who knows? Jacob Gibson, I got to be honest, watching David struggle clicking the right thing and hearing him say good grief has me laughing a lot. Thank you, Jacob. I appreciate that, buddy. Well, we got a hailstorm. I tell you how to go through, though. And never mind. I'm just joking. I wouldn't do that to you. But anyway.
We're going to have to get Dave a mouse with bigger buttons.
Well, I have changed the mouse a good while back, and I wish I had not done it. It keeps giving me this finger that points to things. I really just have the plain old arrow and be done with it. But it's not one of those things that does very easily. And I'm if you could see my screen, I have about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tabs to keep up with on different models and different things to show you. So, yeah, I kind of forget where each of them are, even though they're like, I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that says weather briefing, but they're all different types of slides. So that's to help you see different parts of it without me having to search through it, which I still end up doing anyway. So there we are. Anyway, let's see here. Francine Stubbs, I just jumped on. How much ice?
Where?
Yeah, it depends on where you're talking about, Francine. She's on the Facebook page, over Dave Powell Weather and Wisdom Facebook page. And
Anna Jones, I was thinking the same thing. Dave's mouse keeps giving him the finger.
Oh, thank you very much. You guys are gonna make my face turn red now and embarrass me in front of all my good friends on here. The Hobgoblin Chiefs are currently on a plane unable to take off. Ah,
In Kansas City, because
yeah, that's right. I
they were
forgot.
saying up earlier in the chat that Kansas City Airport is closed because they're starting to get ice and their de-icing equipment broke down.
Oh, that's not a fun thing to do.
And we've seen from the past, I've watched plenty of air crash investigations where ice has caused planes to not be able to fly.
Yeah. Um, the only thing I can say, I watched the Kentucky game before I came in. That was a sight to behold as they beat Florida. Unbeaten Florida. They beat them. Well, for those of you who are interested, just so I'd tell you. Because I am kind of a Kentucky fan when it comes to basketball. So, anyway, let's see here. Jacob gets us, well, the refs just threw a flag on the winter storm. Foul? I guess that's right. A foul, yeah. Stephanie Staten McKinney says, we appreciate your news on the weather. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate that. Francine Stubbs says she's in Katie's. So what is she expecting, Mark?
Katie's about the same as Hopkinsville here. We're well into the winter weather advisory. We're looking at between a tenth and a quarter inch of ice coming in, and that's going to start in the early morning hours and run through mid-morning tomorrow. We'll change over to all rain through the afternoon tomorrow. We may catch a little break in precip, and then we'll probably get in tomorrow night. Into Monday morning, we'll be looking at snow, and again, probably around an inch.
Jan Colwell says, well, yeah, Jan, I get that way sometimes too. Stephanie McKinney says, David, you are the man. Well, I don't know about that. I'm just, I'm fallible, that's for sure. I'm certainly not perfect, but I appreciate.
What's your favorite coffee cup, Dave?
My favorite coffee cup?
Yeah.
It says on it, the man, the myth, the legend.
That's right.
How did you know about that? Have you seen it?
I've heard you speak about it a few
Oh,
times.
okay. All right. Anyway, Nikki Winter says, just came out. What are they that they are closing? That it just came out that they are closing Brookport Bridge between Illinois and Kentucky at 7 tonight. That's the Blue Bridge. Wow, I can imagine that though, because of the
Yeah.
icing. Yeah. So
And the thing about bridges and roadways, the air flows around them, and they will freeze much sooner than a roadway on a solid surface. So
yeah. So
I can imagine why they're closing that, because
yeah.
that bridge has got a lot of airflow around it. It'll cool it off. really
Probably
fast.
a wise decision, yeah. So, Shawnee Massey says, what's our next snow prediction in Hopkinsville? It will be coming in on the 9th of January, which is about a little less than a week away. That's on the 9th's on a Friday, correct?
Mhm.
No?
No, the 9th is
it's
a
on
Thursday.
a Thursday, yeah. So the 9th is on a Thursday. Then
Friday the 10th.
Friday the 10th is when you'll start seeing snowfall. It looks like a pretty good snowfall coming in. So Saturday the 11th looks to be a snowy day. Autumn Boys says, what are the odds of anything sticking to the roads in Hopkinsville tomorrow morning? Ice-wise, thank you guys for all you do. They pre-treated the roads, Mark. It would depend on
Yeah.
how sustained
Yeah.
that freezing rain is,
How sustained? How much of it is kind of liquid? Because it could
Yep.
wash some of that brine off
Yep.
and then start sticking. Again, we're looking at an overnight low here of about 29, so we'll be well below freezing
That's
by
right.
morning.
That's right. Paulette Reagan says the Weather Channel and Spectrum is using words like glaze, damaging, and crippling in different areas throughout. Why? Why would you listen to a place in Georgia trying to predict our weather here locally? Well, the thing of it is, if they're talking widespread overall, then yeah, they're probably correct, because some of these areas, especially up in eastern Missouri, western Illinois, southern Illinois, they are going to be crippled. But as far as the
Yeah, they
glaze
could get
goes,
about an inch of ice up
Yeah,
that way, and
yeah.
if that's the case, they're going to be in trouble. They're probably going to have
Yep.
more widespread power outages and take a while longer for them to get their power back on as well.
Yeah. So Bobby Michaela says, what should the Bowling Green area expect to see tonight and tomorrow? Well, I think they will see, as the map is showing, a little ice, probably anywhere from a tenth to 2/10 of an inch of ice, similar to what Hopkinsville is expecting. Probably not enough to cause widespread power outages, so that's a good thing, but it will be enough to cause some serious road issues if they haven't been treated, and especially on the back roads or some that may not have had brine put down. yeah, you may have a lot of trouble. So, you want to check the road conditions before you try to head out. And if it looks pretty bad, hopefully we'll have a crew out to check road conditions too. That's what Amy and Shane are working on right now. Is their intercept vehicle that will give us some road conditions and stuff. We will see. It just depends on how it turns out. Let's see. Jacob gets honest. When I'm driving winter weather and come to a bridge, I make sure to coast across it and not hit the brakes or gas in case it were slick. Good advice.
Good advice. But I think the bridge they were talking about up there is too long for you to coast across.
Yeah, that one right there is significant, and that ice is a lot more than what we're looking at here.
Yeah.
Chris Meacham says, flag against the weather, offsides, 15-yard penalty, repeat, 0 downside. Okay, Chris, thank you for all that. he's back on the sports. Gary Pettis, be careful on side streets and county roads. He's absolutely right about that. Ellen Albright says, thank you for all you do. Thank you, Elaine. And then Nancy H. Tolliver, hey, Nancy. She says, we're ready. Food for wildlife, ready. Yeah, you know what she said whenever she was waiting for us to go on? She sent me a message. She says, okay, I'm just sitting here watching the squirrels feed, waiting for you to come on live. Now, Nancy's a good friend of mine. Thank you, Nancy, for hanging in there. Chris Beecham, I don't think the mouse was giving Dave the finger. I believe it was flipping off the weather coming in. Hey, that's a good. Yeah, that's right. That's what.
There you go.
That's right. Connie Stevens Ferris coming into Nashville tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. from Tucson. I'm hoping the roads will be good. You know what? That may be the best time she could come in. Do you think?
I think so. By then, it should have changed over to all rain. Probably be passable on the roads by then, I would hope. The only thing she has to watch out for is flying into Nashville. There could be some thunderstorms in the area.
Yeah. So, anyway, Jacob Kitson says, just get your speed up to coast across long bridges. He's laughing out loud. Everyone, that's meant as a joke. Don't do this. And, of course, Nancy's laughing.
We'll cross it drifting sideways.
So, Ann Loney, how much is Princeton going to get ice and snow?
Princeton and Caldwell County, they are in the ice storm warning. So they could get between a quarter and a half inch of ice up that way before it changes over to rain.
And Aaron Stauffer is living in Lexington, wants to know what they could get in ice and snow up that way.
Lexington?
Yep.
They are in the winter storm warning, so they could get a coating of ice and sleet. The ice, I think, for them is a tenth to a quarter of an inch. The sleet and snow forecast for them is like 4 to 6 inches, I think.
Ooh. So maybe you can make some snow cream up there anyway. So anyway, Joy White, Katie's road department as our side roads and main roads, salsa and grind. Great, they do a great job. A lot of these road departments they do a really good job. They've got experience at it. They know just what to do. So we'll see. Shawnee Trails is in Illinois, in my area. We have plenty of hills. That'd be hills to slide down. I haven't been sledding since I was a kid. I used to enjoy doing that.
I did too, but I've gotten so stiff and my bones have gotten old. I don't know that I'd survive it if I tried it now.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, let's see here. Brianna Crafton, what do you think for Russellville? Russellville, I think, is looking about like maybe a little bit less ice, I think, because if that is moving a little bit more to the northeast, anyway.
Yeah, they're probably looking about like us, probably around a tenth of an inch or so of ice. And then changing over to all rain as we go through the afternoon hours tomorrow, and then the overnight hours changing back to snow, and then probably around an inch.
Lisa Allison says she's from Nashville, just got on. What has she missed? A lot.
Says, what's the probability of this shifting south? It is possible.
Yes,
it is
the
possible.
other thing to worry about. Joey White says, thank you so much for what you do. I was on fire department rescue for 20 years down here in Trigg. I haven't listened to you and been able to go by what you said so many times. We appreciate. I think he meant I have listened to you and been able to go by what you said so many times. We appreciate you so much Joey, that means a lot. Thank you very much. Jacob Gibson, the radar from News Channel 5 in Nashville shows a small area of snow in the New Madrid area right now. Not sure if y'all have a camera in that area. We've been looking at that stuff. I'll go back over to our radar, and you can see here is the rain and snow coming in. I don't see any near the New Madrid area just yet. And the New Madrid area is right here. Well known
The
for
sky looks very indistinct in Puxico, Missouri, but they don't really show anything coming down quite yet.
Yeah, here's
This
Puxico
may
down.
be a loft. Yeah, this may be a loft. It may not be reaching the ground, which
Right.
is how a lot of these storms start out.
Right. Let's go on up here a little deeper. Let's see what we got up here on this camera here. Oh, that's Puxico. Okay, let me stop this from going in motion. Might be a little bit easier to depict. Well, let's see. Here's one. Let's look at Dexter. Traffic's moving along fine there. I don't see anything, but it sure looks ominous back here to the west, and that's what this camera's pointing towards. So, yeah, traffic's moving fine as the evening starts to wane, and it's 35 degrees there. So, it's just a matter of time. We're already getting a little bit down here in northwestern Tennessee. Let's see what we got there. Let's look at Gibson County EOC, and I don't see anything going on, but it sure looks like it wants to do something. This is one of those what you'd call a snow sky. Oh me. So yeah, Jacob says, assuming the snow they show in that area is a loft, and I'm sure that's true. Hobgoblin, 69 highway in Kansas City is closed. Scout cams are down, but it looks like multiple highways are now closed. Wow. So if you're going up towards the Kansas City area in Missouri, you may want to rethink all that, and because they do have snow coming down there at this time. I wish I had a camera up there. I don't see a camera anywhere in that area. The only thing I've got is this one up here. It's a school camera, but it's not in Kansas City or anywhere near that. I still don't see anything coming down on that camera, and it is still 21.4 degrees there. So it's very cold. Looks like we're getting some moderate snow in Sedalia, Missouri. So we're getting a lot of snow and stuff up here in Missouri, it looks like, and then we get a change over to rain, but I don't see much in the way of sleet and stuff like we did earlier. Look at this. This is just little bits of it, sleet and freezing rain, but not much. But now if we get back over here into, I believe this is Kansas. Yeah, because there's Wichita. So we're getting the sleet and the freezing rain here. What have I got here? See if this is a camera. Burlington, Kansas. I don't see anything there. 28 degrees though, so the temperature's dropped from when we looked at it before. I'm just checking some of these cameras around, see if we can find anything where it's actually coming down. Landon Buchanan said, I see on Weather Channel it may snow tonight now. Is that true? Well, yeah, it's possible. I mean, anytime you have rain and freezing temperatures, you do have a chance of getting some snow. But, you know, I don't know where they're getting that information from. Mark, are you checking, keep an eye on the latest forecast discussion maybe?
I am. Let me go review it again because sometimes they change stuff on me.
Again, I want to ask everyone to be sure, if you haven't subscribed, please go on and subscribe on the channel. We sure do need the subscriptions. You guys have been mighty good to us. The more subscriptions we get, the better we can keep our technology going and everything updated properly as it should.
Yeah. Right now, the forecast discussion, which came out at just before 3 p.m.,
Okay.
says a major winter storm remains on track to impact the region tonight through Monday morning. Let's see. Winter storm warning, ice storm warning, and winter weather advisory have all been issued. The greatest uncertainty remains on the border of the ice storm warning and the winter weather advisory.
And that would be kind of just up here along this area right here, Kentucky, Northern Christian and all Northern Todd, Trigg, Logan County. So we'll see. Let's just hope that it's more snow than ice. I would much rather have that. Tracy Rainier says, I'm just south of you in Grandview, the Hobgoblin. See, the Hobgoblin is at I-70 and 1435 on the Missouri side. Okay, so we have some folks watching from over this area. You're going to be affected. Let's see, he said I-70 and 1435. Where in the world is I-70? Here we go. It's up here.
I-70 cuts straight across the center of Kansas.
Right, I see it. It's snowing along that. Let's see, he says 1435. Let's see here. Guess I'm going to have to go a little closer. Well, 1435 must be a smaller road. I'm going to follow it till I can't find it. Well, so far I haven't not having any luck locating him. I see I-70, so he's somewhere along I-70, but I don't see. Let's see here. 435. Okay, 435. I think I did see that.
Yeah. They have extended that winter weather advisory until 6 a.m. Monday.
Over our area?
Yes.
Lovely. That's because of the snow, I suspect, coming in. Would you guess so?
Probably. It's all we're talking about is the southern two rows of counties within the winter weather advisory have a complex timeline, which has resulted in extending the advisory from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m. Monday. Freezing rain will cause significant travel impacts for the morning, with an abrupt transition from very little ice to significant icing expected from south to north. Caution should be maintained even if icing appears minimal. A transition to rain is expected during the afternoon hours, potentially clearing up morning ice cover. Following the evening cold frontal passage, model soundings indicate a dry layer in the dendritic growth zone during the evening into the overnight hours, which could lead to a transition to freezing drizzles Sunday night, prompting the extension of the advisory. The freezing drizzle potential across the entire quad state will bring various hazards. Let's see, forecast is very close to the previous forecast. Cold air surges into the quad state region following this storm, and any areas with snow or ice cover will see further radiative cooling. Temperatures will remain below freezing for all but the southernmost areas through the week, with melting limited to solar radiation during the day as skies become more sunny midweek.
Hobgoblin, that band a little while ago got us. I'm assuming you're talking about the snow. So you're in the snow now. Tony Harris says, hello, David and Mark. Praying for this weather and all involved, especially the teams going out. Blessing my friends. Still planning on coming out to visit you guys soon. We would love to have you, Tony. Just let us know.
Yep.
And let's see, what else is going on here? Back out a little bit. Yeah, this is, Mark, this is really, I'm kind of wondering about this band of snow. And I look back, it appears that the freezing rain is diminishing and the snow is increasing.
It very well could. Like I said, depending on the model and the model run, it showed off with maybe a quick burst of a little bit of snow starting off before it turns over to freezing rain as we go through the overnight and into tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
You have
Let's
to remember
see.
there is a warm front pushing up towards us as well.
Ah, yes. Okay. That's why this is
And
moving northeast then.
yep,
Okay. Um, well, let's see what's going on here in Little Rock. I got a camera back here. Let's just take a look at it. Perry County weather watchers. Nothing much. 44 degrees. But this one, let's see what we got here. Burlington, Kansas. They're in that area where the freezing rain and sleet was located. But I don't see anything falling. Still 28 degrees there. Um, yeah, this is an interesting situation, though, to watch this as it comes in. So let's see here. Amanda Keenan Barber. Hey, Amanda, just hopped on. What's the outlook for Hopkinsville? And Virginia White. Hey, she says, found you on YouTube. Thank you, Virginia. If you think about it, be sure and subscribe to the channel. It will help us out immensely. If you haven't already, it helps us to keep our radar upgraded and give you some good information. I'm about to lose my voice. Anyway, Jacob gets, when you look at NWS Paducah, they show North Christian getting up to possibly a ½ inch of ice, and that's what we showed in our ice forecast a little earlier.
yeah, it's going to be a very, very steep gradient
Mm-hmm.
between the 1/10 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, and then even more as you go north. Same with the snowfall. There'll be a very steep gradient in how much snow comes in behind, and the temperature gradient itself. Whereas we may get above freezing as we go up to the north, it'll stay below freezing for the counties that are up that way toward the Ohio River.
Rita Taylor says, I'm just catching up with you all today. How are you both doing? It's going to be a long couple of days, and yes, it will. I hope both of you ate as prepared as we can be. I hope both of you are prepared as you can be. My living room is full of wood for a couple of days when that wet stuff comes. I got dry wood and food. I'm ready and prepared to hunker down now. Not that I like house confinement. Yeah, I know. I don't think any of us like the house confinement too much. Tracy Runyon says, fire above, fire below, ignite the skies, destroy the snow.
That may not be a really good idea, though.
No.
Talk about global warming.
Marion Cowan says, what's the latest for Elkton? It looks like it's going to be very similar to Christian County with about 1/4 of an inch of ice at the most for Elkton. Probably less than that. That's what we're hoping for. And even then, with the temperatures going a little above freezing tomorrow, I think that will help the situation as far as any widespread power outages go. Let's see. Charles Smith says, Mr. Powell, please say hi to my wife, Tony, watching from Clarksville, Tennessee. Hi, Tony. I'm glad you're on here with us. Make your husband turn the reins over to you so you can chat direct. But seriously, I'm glad you both are on with us, and it's an honor to have you watching from Clarksville, and we'll try to answer any questions you have about the weather for Clarksville. You're well in our coverage area. Our coverage area actually goes all the way down to I-40, but we're not really limited by that. That's just where we try to concentrate our main efforts on. And then northward to the Ohio River, and westward to the Mississippi, and eastward to I-65 and beyond. So if that helps any. So yeah, welcome aboard, Tony. I'm glad to see you on with us. And then Marion Cowan says, thank you, David. And it is my honor, Marion, to serve you guys. Mac Wells says, how will this impact the operating hours of the Hanson dump? You know what? That's a good idea to talk about that, because if we have slick roads, a lot of people get their trash picked up on Monday, and myself included. So I would say that you can't not put the dumpster out to be picked up, because you don't know if they're going to come by or not. So I would say put it out as though they're going to pick it up, and then if they don't, then they will pick it up first opportunity, I know. So hopefully it won't be that bad, and they'll be able to make the routes. Oh gosh, Mark, I'm going to have to take a break. I'm about to choke. I can't talk hardly.
Yeah. Clay, you say you live in Hagerstown. Are you talking about Hagerstown, Maryland? If so, Hagerstown is in that winter storm warning. They are looking at nothing until Sunday night, but then snow mainly after 1 a.m. Their low value about 22. Uh, chance of precipits 100%. Snow accumulations of 1 to 3 inches. And then Monday, snow high near 26 with 100% chance of precipitation and new snow accumulations of 2 to 4 inches on top of that. And then Monday night, a chance of snow before 1 a.m. So you have snow, snow, and snow.
Scott Burbank says, "What time for St. Louis, Mark?" It's not far from them now. I would
It's
say,
actually starting in St. Louis
yeah,
probably about now.
yeah, it won't be
At
long.
least
It'll
that's
be
what
on
I'm
top of it.
seeing.
Chris Meacham says a few churches have already called off service for tomorrow. So yeah, if you were planning on going to church in the morning, you might want to check ahead. They may very well have canceled services due to the expected hazardous road conditions. Amateur meteorologist Zach. Hey Zach, how you doing? He says he's in Clarksville, Tennessee, mostly cloudy and 36 degrees. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Clay says, yeah. And Rita Taylor says, take some honey, David, to soothe that throat. Oh, gosh.
8 to 12. I don't know if it's quite that high, but you'll be running close to at least to the 8 inches mark.
Where's he talking about?
Hagerstown, Maryland.
Ah, okay.
It's right up in the little notch of West Virginia and Maryland. I used to travel through there when I would go between where my lovely fiance at the time lived in West Virginia and northern Maine, where I was stationed.
Does your fiance or does your wife know about your fiance?
No, don't tell her. I'm kidding. My current wife was my fiance
Oh,
at
that's
that
right.
time. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Heather Gibbs says, is Hopkinsville supposed to get bad? She's watching over on the David Powell Weather and Wisdom Facebook page. So, well, yeah, at some point, I think it'll be bad enough that you will need to stay off the roads for a little while. Now, what we think will happen is that the ice and snow will come in overnight. Probably start as maybe some snow, Mark, you think?
Could be a brief little bit of snow, and then it'll switch over to freezing rain
Yeah.
as we go in the overnight hours and early morning hours tomorrow. Probably churn back over to just regular rain mid-morning on through the afternoon.
Which will
And
be
then
your
tomorrow night,
that'll be the opportunity to get out during the day if you're needing to get out. But make sure the roads have thawed enough, even though it might get above freezing. You want to make sure the roads are still thawed too.
right, because rain on top of ice just makes it really, really slick until the
Yeah.
ice melts.
Yeah. So hope that answers your question there, Heather. Then Joseph Nix III says, "Hey y'all," and he says Amanda Baldwin Combs. I guess he's wanting to get her on. They're all watching over on the David Powell Weather and Wisdom Facebook page. So I appreciate them being on there.
Yep.
Heather Clay says hello, and let's see here. Mark, you're going to have to take over. I'm going to take a break here, so I got to get something in my throat. I'll be back here in uno momento.
All right. And again, we're just waiting for all this to get started. People asking about the Hopkinsville area. Again, after the ice is done tomorrow, we go into tomorrow night, and then probably past midnight, we start to pick up snow. Probably around an inch of snow possible in the Hopkinsville area. And again, the gradient's going to be very steep. So the farther north you go, the more you're going to get into ice and snow until you get up into like the Ohio River area, where you're expecting anywhere from a half inch to a little bit more of ice, and then possibly 2 to 4 inches of snow on top of that. Okay, Hobgoblin, KMCI, is that that's the Kansas City Airport, isn't it? They're expected to open in 30 minutes. I guess they got their de-icing systems problems fixed. A lot of the airports have de-icing systems for the aircraft, but they have them out by the runway because they don't need to spray the de-ice the plane and have it wait in a line for 45 minutes to get to the end of the runway and have ice all over it again by the time it goes to take off. So they will spray the aircraft down for icing, de-icing fluid and stuff right at the end of the runway before they're next to take off. Then they go and take off, and they don't have to worry about having ice all over the aircraft. Sam, what can we tell you? Someone tell me what I missed. By the way, I'm not ignoring anyone who's on the Facebook channel, but Dave has that over at his console. I don't have the Facebook channel. All I can see is the YouTube chat. So we're just talking about along the Kentucky-Tennessee border here. We're under a winter weather advisory for freezing rain coming in the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. And again, anywhere between just a glaze to a tenth of an inch in the southern part. And then as you get toward the northern part area, up close to a quarter inch. And then tomorrow night, we look for a chance for snow to be coming in and probably up to about an inch. Go north of that, you go up into like Hopkins County and northward to there, and you're under an ice storm warning. They're looking for up to around a half inch of ice, and then possibly again snow coming in on the backside, and then inch and a half of snow. And then if you go north of that up into southern Illinois, southern Indiana, you're looking at a winter storm warning, which is I think 3 to 5 inches of snow up that way for the most part. And then possibly some sleet and freezing rain up there as well, but not as much. And I can't change any of the maps or anything for you over there, so you'll just have to bear with me talking and telling you what you need to know. Happen to know what travel conditions will be looking like from here to Iowa. From here to Iowa, you're crossing the ice storm as you go through southern Illinois and eastern Missouri. So it's going to be very treacherous going through there. They're looking possibly for heavier ice up there, up between 3/4 inch to an inch. So that's going to be bad. Beyond that, you go on up, you're into the winter weather or winter storm watch, which is again for the heavier snow totals. And if you get on over towards Kansas City, you're in a blizzard warning, which means you're getting heavy snow and higher winds. So I do not think it would be a good time to try to travel to Iowa. And again, we are looking at a little bit of the stuff starting to show up on the radar. Robert Stewart, how much for Clarksville, Tennessee? You'll probably see a glaze to a tenth of an inch, and then maybe a half inch to maybe an inch of snow on the backside of that as we go through this whole system. And again, Dave's been talking about the fact that next weekend, like next Friday and into Saturday, we could be looking at another storm system coming in, and this one would be mostly snow for us. We're not looking so much for any ice to be coming in, but definitely snow coming in across our area. And again, it's too early to say exactly where and exactly how much. Steep gradient is just where the low comes across and where the front's position. When you're looking across a warm front, which is what's coming up our way, the warmer areas to the south, the colder areas to the north. And a lot of times, that's a lot more shallow. Oh, you're welcome, Sam. A lot more shallow. And then looking at it as we go on from there, normally it takes a long time for that warm air at the surface to go up into the altitude. Sometimes, though, it comes into, and we have a very steep gradient. That's where the cutoff is for the precip.
I'm back, Mark.
All right.
Yeah, we need to tell Shane about our microphone problem, but I guess we can do that here a little later.
Yeah. I think he's up to his elbows in grease right now.
Yeah, he's trying to get his vehicle ready for his road conditions, which that's what they're working on, and hopefully we'll be able to provide some good stuff whenever that becomes necessary. Oh, yeah. Man.
And Robert, things are never super certain with these kind of system coming in. It can still shift around. It's just now forming up and getting started. So we'll probably not have a real good handle on it till we get later on tonight or early tomorrow morning, exactly who's getting what.
Yeah. Good grief.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to adjust my lights a little bit. Okay, I'm all right now. Mark, you're going to have to flip that thermostat up. I'm going to be blowing. You're going to be able to see my breath in here in just a minute. It feels like it's trying to hang meat in here.
Yeah. Well, I'll check that, and I'm going to take a little break too. I'll
All
be
right.
back in just a couple minutes.
All right. And mention that to Shane about our mic. Just mention it to him.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I am here. Now you got me. What can we do? We can talk bad about Mark. No, I wouldn't do that. Actually, Mark's a good guy. I think the world of him. Let's see here. Ann Jackson, is Russell going to be bad? Just logging on, tired watching at work, but was very busy with folks buying propane tanks. Or tried watching at work. Yeah, there are a lot of people buying propane, they're buying kerosene, there are a lot of things going on. Everybody's trying to get ready for this, and a lot of people have already gotten prepared. I know I went to the store a little earlier and I asked if they were busy. Said, yeah, somebody said something about a milk and bread alert. I just hung my head and went on. Anyway, but yeah, I appreciate that. Russellville is not going to be as bad as it could have been, at least right now. Let's hope things don't change much, because if they do, everything I'm telling you is going to end up being wrong. But we're expecting about anywhere from a tenth up to a quarter, maybe even a little less than a half inch of ice. We would still be okay with that, but any more, then we'd start seeing more power outages. I think with that, the power lines are rated for a quarter of an inch anyway, and they will take a little more than that. So let's just hope that all the power stays on for us, so we don't have any widespread trouble. Tessa Terry says, thank you for all your dedication to keeping us updated, and you're most welcome. And Jacob Gibson says, Kentucky weather likes to throw surprises at meteorologists, I swear. And you're right. You're absolutely right. It does. And, I've had egg on my face several times when I was talking about snow. So I don't like to talk about snow, but when it's obvious, then, we'll see. Amateur meteorologist Zach says it's funny when people act as if it's a zombie apocalypse over a half inch of snow or even a glaze of ice. Yeah, but Zach, they don't get that very often, and we haven't had a whole lot of decent snows in this area in a few years. And so this year looks like it's going to be different. This winter is going to be different. I've said that all along for months now, and I talked about this very thing that's happening back in the first part of October when I put out the winter weather outlook, that there would be some ongoing storms in January, that they would be getting very cold, and all that seems to be coming to pass. But anyway, Robert Stewart says, it always seems like the area in the Hopkinsville area always appears to be on the line. It happens all the time, all year. You're right, it does. And there's a lot of phenomenon that I've talked to the National Weather Service about. One is the cap that comes over our area a lot of times. It's not typical of anywhere else. So it's interesting. We're studying on it. Tammy Tatum says, toilet paper alert. Why you do this to me? Lewisburg is up near Russellville, east of Hopkinsville, and I hope we don't get swatted too hard out here by the storm. I don't think you will, to be honest with you. Yeah, you're a little bit further north, so you may have a little bit more ice than what Russellville does. But, I don't think it's going to be earth-shattering. I don't think it's going to be devastating. You may be inconvenienced some for a little while, but not being able to drive or get out on the roads much for a day or so. But really, overall, I don't think it's going to be all that bad right now as it appears. Rita Taylor says, some people do not have the means to prepare for these things. I'm seeing children with no coats. Well, that's a sad thing, but there are places they can go to get some clothing, namely Salvation Army, or they can arrange for things to be done that will get them some warm clothing. So they need to be put in contact with those people. Why do you do this to me? How to drive on ice covered by snow or wet ice generally? Stay in second gear or less. Drive 30 miles an hour at the most. That's a good idea. That is a real good idea. I agree with you. Brianna Crafton says, do you think it will be safe to travel in Logan and Warren before lunch tomorrow? That will be a hard call, because I know the temperature is going to get above freezing tomorrow, but I think it would be on up in the day. Before lunch, I don't know. You might want to check and see before you try to go out there on that and make sure. But But I would, if you can, I'd wait till afternoon to be able to get out there and try that. While you do this to me, it says, I grew up in Alaska, so that's how we dealt with it. And it is wise things you're saying there. And second gear at the most, 30 miles per hour is fast. Drive however fast you want to hit the ditch. Excuse me just a moment, folks. My goodness, I thought I was going to get rid of this. It's still coming on me. Nothing like live TV. Carolyn Page says, what about Crofton? Well, Crofton is expected to get about probably around 2/10 of an inch of ice, maybe a tad more because you're a little further north of Hopkinsville. But I think, again, you're going to be okay for the most part. Hopefully the power stays on. That's the $99 question. We need the power to stay on, and life will be a whole lot better for all of us. Nestle 305 says, I'm in northeast Kentucky, Ashland, the tri-state area. Yeah, that's, let's see, I think they are going to get not as much, but they're going to get more snow, if I remember correctly. When Mark gets back, we'll ask him about that again. I'm really having a hard time talking, so I hope y'all will excuse me if my voice cracks up while I talk to you. Leo says, great show. Keep up the amazing work. Be safe, my friends. God bless all of you from Lovelessville, Kentucky. Leo, that is one of the nicest things anybody said to me today. I appreciate that a lot. How you do this to me? Flu A is going around, and it starts with a cough. Take care of yourself. It's a tenacious strain this time. Yeah, I know my cough is more or less because of the dry throat I've got right now. I've talked so much over the last 2.5 hours that my voice box is starting to wear out a little bit, but I actually feel pretty good. I'm not sickly or anything like that. It's just dry throat more than anything. Tammy Tatum says, more TP in the store than bread. Well, you eat bread, you do other things with the toilet paper. Debbie Wyatt Reddick, what about Trigg County? Debbie, Trigg is looking at similar situation to Hopkinsville, although I think, if I looked at the models correctly, that will change over to just rain earlier in the day than it would Hopkinsville. It's going to come from the southwest to northeast as the warm front comes up, raises our temperatures to hopefully get rid of the ice that may be on the roadways and on the power lines. And so about the same thing, but with any luck, we're going to be just fine. All of us are going to be just fine. We're going to get through this regardless, you know. It's a little bit scary because it's the first one of these we've had in a while. We haven't had a big ice storm in a long time. So I guess we were due one. But I don't think this is going to be as bad as it could have been. So the good thing is that we got cold air coming that will help to change anything over to all snow, hopefully, as time goes by. And I look back here, you can see this is where the snow is coming in at already in Missouri, and then you got some freezing rain and sleet back here to the west of that and back into Kansas, especially around Wichita up towards Topeka. You've got looks like sleet and freezing rain, and that is part of what you can see also that this is increasing in intensity as it comes through. Hey, Mark.
Hey, what's up?
I'm sure glad you're back because I'm about to lose my voice. So I'm down to Nikki Winter. She says, do you think McCracken County, Paducah area will get more ice? I'd rather have snow, but as long as it's not 2009 again, I'm good.
Well, it's definitely not 2009 again, but you probably are going to get more ice than snow in that particular area.
Agreed. And Tammy Tatum, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get one of these old suckers that the paper stuck to it, but if I can get it in my mouth, I think I will ease my throat a little where I can continue talking. I appreciate all the viewers we have. We've got a lot of folks on with us right now.
Yes, indeed.
And we're going to stay with you as long as we need to, and as long as we have questions coming at us, we're going to keep answering them. But if at any time you think we've had enough of us, stop talking to us. No, I'm just joking. I don't want you to stop talking to me. I really do think the world of all of you. I was just talking with Amy in there. We got a lot of orders coming in for the HempWorks salve, Mark. A lot of them that saw that commercial have ordered the salve, and so Katie's going to be real happy.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we got to get a hold of
Fantastic.
Katie. Let's see here. I'm about to get the paper off. Hang on. It's about to get to the point I'm going to eat the paper too.
Yeah.
Ah, sticky. Okay. What are we thinking for Logan? Let's see. Victoria Michael says, how about Montgomery County, Todd County line? Let me back up. Nancy Tyler says, is this slow moving? Maybe here before 2? It could be here before 2 a.m., Mark.
Yeah. You have to remember that first little bit there that you're seeing on the radar is not reaching the ground yet, as near as we can tell.
Yeah, that's true. Our
So
cameras are not
it's gonna
showing anything. That's true.
Yeah, it's going to take a little while to get on down this way, but as it does, it'll start to develop. Tonight, as we get after dark, as we head toward tomorrow morning, is when we'll really see the stuff start to increase in intensity. And then again, tomorrow we'll switch over to all rain, at least along the southern tier here, and then turn back over to snow tomorrow night. Logan, probably about the same as we're looking here, probably a tenth to 2/10 of an inch. The northern part of Logan County may get up to a 1/4 inch or more, and then turning over to snow tomorrow night between a 1/2 inch and an inch or so.
Lisa Cotton.
Now,
Go ahead.
for the snow, that's what the current forecast is. That could change depending on how this develops and where that low goes. We could get a little bit more snow than that.
Have you looked at SKU-T on any of that recently to see if there's...
As far as the ice or as far as the snow?
Well, I'm kind of curious as to what the depth of the warmth is. Is it possible the snow could come in, cause the refrigeration effect, and certainly evaporational cooling to maybe get everything to snow and stay there?
Let me see here.
Jeff Smith says, thank you for your time doing this. What are your thoughts about Hopkinsville? Well, since I live near Hopkinsville, I live just north of town, I think that we're going to be okay as far as any power outages. I don't think there'll be much in the way of power outages. It doesn't appear to be that serious. However, there will be some ice buildup on the power lines, so if we do get more than what we expected, things could change. I think that we will get some good wraparound snow, probably more than what they're showing, and we will see how that plays out. But, we may wake up in the morning, it's snowing, be gangbusters. I don't know.
Yeah, the warm layer on this is looking like it goes from 2,000 up to almost 10,000 feet.
Oh,
So
wow. So
we got a nice wide warm layer on it. It's going to change over to rain.
Okay. Well,
before it changes over to snow.
Then that's a good thing. Really, that will help prevent too much of an ice buildup. So, anyway, Rita Nation says, what do you think Morgantown and Butler County will get, Mark?
Morgantown and Butler County. Let's see.
Just
where is that?
I believe it's northwest of Bowling Green. Yeah. South east of Central City, northwest of Bowling Green. Jeff Smith says, thank you so much. We appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you for asking questions.
Yeah, that's going to be right on the line between the ice storm, the winter storm advisory, and the winter weather. Excuse me. Hang on a second. And the winter weather advisory. And looking at that, that's going all together. Right in that area, you're going to be right on line to get probably at least up to around a 1/4 inch of the ice, and then possibly a little bit more snow on top of it, probably a couple inches of snow after the snow goes through there.
Well, this just in, according to Hobgoblin, Kansas Governor Kelly has issued a state of disaster and emergency for, Kansas.
Yeah. I saw earlier that the governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, had issued a state of emergency for the state of Kentucky with this coming in.
Okay. Cassie Knight over on the David Powell Weather and Wisdom Facebook page says, "What do you think Hopkinsville will get?" Well, definitely going to get some ice. How much is still to be determined. Probably 2/10 to maybe as much as 4/10. Still below the criteria, I think, where we'd have widespread power outages.
Right.
Should change to rain as the day wears on tomorrow, which would help in the ice accumulation. And then change to snow tomorrow evening, and we may get a dusting to, wouldn't surprise
Up to
me.
around an inch.
Yeah, around an inch of snow tomorrow night. In fact, it may still be snowing when you get up Monday morning. We'll see. Alicia Douglas says, Bowling Green stores were packed. Glad we prepared last weekend. Thanks for keeping us posted. I like to think that our early warning on this helped you to avoid those crowds, because I got my milk and bread early on. I'm not no dummy.
Yeah. Last thing on our checklist was fill up the cars. We did that yesterday.
Yep, I did that too. You know, and the reason you fill up your cars, not that you're going to go anywhere much, but if you have to charge your phones, you've got car chargers, hopefully, and you can do a lot with it. If you have to go somewhere, be sure you have an emergency cold weather kit in your vehicle, consisting of a blanket, maybe some de-icer or cat litter to give you traction if you get stuck, or sand. Put in some bottles of water. Because you never know how long you'd be out there if you get stranded. Why you do this to me? The Tennessee Valley Authority and other utility providers have borrowed $14 quadrillion through Department of Defense for infrastructure and upkeep. Not only is a prepayment on all utility bills that utility companies that ever apply, it assures they always have the budget to keep the grid up. Well, that's good.
Yeah. And the utilities have, since the 2009 ice storm, I know the utilities around here have, but I think all the utilities have been at work to try to make the grid a bit more robust and able to handle these type of situations, and also to improve in case we have an EMP or a solar storm event that would cause the grid to have a problem.
You know, I've got underground power lines going from my pole out to my house, and I've always been glad to have had that. So it's saved me from going out of power a lot of times.
Yeah. In the 94 ice storm and in the 2009 ice storm, I lost power at my house for 3 days, each time because of a tree limb falling on the line between the pole and the house. That tree no longer is there. The power company took it out about 3 years ago.
And now it looks like the forecast for Hopkinsville, snow showers are going to be likely Monday.
Yeah.
With a high of only 30.
Yeah. I'm surprised no one has asked about schools. We don't have any word on that yet. If we get a word on that, we will let you all know. But for right now, they haven't made any kind of decision on that yet. But
well, it's a little premature.
Yeah, just from the sound of it, I would be making sure I had alternate plans in place.
Yeah. Those snow showers on Monday are likely before noon, so it looks like they'll begin overnight Sunday night and go on through till about noon on Monday. The winter weather advisory remains in effect for Christian County and other surrounding counties along the Tennessee-Kentucky border. Vicky Stewart Phillips says, "Thank you guys for all you do. I live in Bremen, but my sister lives in Calhoun. Had to be in Owensboro for knee surgery at 5:30 in the morning. Wondering what conditions will be like for her and my brother-in-law traveling about 4:30. Well, if they could go early, it'd be the best thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and make plans to maybe be staying put for a while because by early morning, those ice accumulation will be well underway.
Especially as it goes towards Owensboro.
Yep. Owensboro is in the ice storm warning area, so they're looking at half inch to three quarters of an inch of ice up that way.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
definitely, if I know that once a surgery is scheduled and it's this close, it's kind of late to postpone it or change it, but you may end up not even be able to have it because they may not be able to get to the hospital to do it.
That's true. So you may want to check ahead before traveling all that far. Heather Oldham says 2009 was out of power for 6 weeks, and for no ice here, praying for no ice here this time. And we agree with you. This is nothing like 2009, though, Heather. I promise you. In 2009, we had 2 inches of ice. Here, if you're in the Hopkinsville area, you'll be doing good to see a quarter inch to maybe a half inch at the most. So big difference. Amanda Keenan Barber says, our first snow ice since selling our house in the summer and living in a fifth wheel. Living in a fifth wheel. This should be fun. I guess it would be. Alicia Douglas, could the storm still shift, or are we looking at it staying on track now? Mark, that's a good question for you.
The storm can always shift, and they have been known to do that at the last minute. So we will be keeping an eye on it. We won't really know that until everything gets going because the low, it depends on how far south it goes and how it comes back north. That's how everything plays out.
Yep. I do want to look at one other thing here, see if I can get some ideas about something. So hang on, bear with me a moment. Let's see here. Okay, they're saying now, what I'm reading here is along the border, which includes Trigg, Christian, Todd, Logan, Simpson, Allen counties, in Warren counties, tenth to a quarter inch of ice and 1 to 2 inches of snow. So
They've kicked more snow into it.
yes, it has. And then up just north of us, where the warning is 3/10 of an inch of ice up to 7/10 or 0.75 and 2 to 4 inches of snow. So yeah, the snow has increased in amounts according to what the latest call for the snow is, but we shall see. It's still not a certainty. That's just something to keep an eye on. So we do have a major ice and snowstorm for most of our region that's going to be ongoing tonight and tomorrow. So we can expect major travel impacts and maybe some power outages possible. Not as likely towards the south as it is towards the north, but bitterly cold temperatures will follow with those wind chills down below 0 mark. It's going to get really cold.
Yeah. And those are mostly to the north of us, but we are still expecting our temperatures to be down in the sometimes in the single digits with the wind chills near 0 down in our area.
And believe me, you're not going to tell much difference between 0 and below 0 wind chills either way. It's going to be cold.
That's right.
So be sure and bundle up. For goodness sake, if you got to be out on, I would say, Monday into Tuesday, it's going to be some kind of chilly. Rebecca Val, hey Rebecca, he's another snow fan, says, is it trending southward? Nashville said they're now expecting ice. If naturally expecting ice, then it definitely has shifted southward.
Yes, indeed.
So that may explain why I just read the snow totals coming up. So this is news. It's just in, and this may make a difference. Heather Oldham says she's in Muhlenberg County. I really can talk. Mike Jackson says, what about Muhlenberg and Warren? How are they looking? So with this latest information, and it's still just now coming in, I don't know if it's all been verified by the National Weather Service just yet, but I'm looking at other weather sources from folks that are actual meteorologists. They said that, the several inches of snow in some areas up north of us with up to an inch of ice, but it looks like that there could be some 1 to 2 inch snows even over our area after this main thrust gets through and the circulation comes around from the backside. They're saying a tenth to a quarter inch of ice. This is all the areas along the Kentucky-Tennessee border in northern Tennessee. 1 to 2 inches of snow is expected. So I'm assuming the lighter amounts of snow would be towards the south into Tennessee, but 2 inches is not out of the question. So keep that in mind. And then if you go up north of Bowling Green, north of, like in Hopkins County, Muhlenberg County, 3/10 of an inch of ice up to 0.75 inches of ice, almost an inch of ice, plus 2 to 4 inches of snow. That is going to be some serious problems. So keep that in mind.
Absolutely. And trying to get updates on this stuff sometimes is like pulling teeth.
Yeah. Snows will develop Sunday and lift from the southwest to northeast, which will be a big issue. Snowfall rates of 1 to 2 inches will show up with this band before the slow transition to sleet and freezing rain takes place. So it looks like we will get a start on some snow coming in, if this is to be believed. And ice changes over to moderate to heavy snow on Monday as the upper low swings through here. So, and winds are going to be gusting up to 30 to 35 miles per hour as you get closer to that low pressure area. That is some strong winds.
That is. And if there's snow coming down, that's going to be a pretty risky travel time for everyone, because that is very close to blizzard conditions.
So this is some of the latest stuff I've just seen on this. It doesn't mean that that's in concrete yet. We're still looking at all the other stuff to confirm it. But if that's the case, then yeah, look out. It's going to get pretty nasty. Jacob gets. I hope this overperforms for us because I love winter weather. Yeah, I like it, provided I can get around. I don't like it so much when I'm having trouble getting to and from places. Rebecca Val, would that mean more ice for us? Yeah, a little bit, but also means more snowfall. I think that's where it appears that the biggest change for us is coming from. We were already expecting up to a quarter inch of ice, so we'll see.
Yeah. I think when all is said and done out of this storm, we're going to look back at it and say, man, it didn't do quite what they thought it was going to do. But that could go either direction. Yeah,
it did enough. Mary Vorger says, get ready for the cold. It's gone up 1 degree to 7 where she's at, but it's the wind that makes it colder. Yeah, I can imagine. Shireen English, she's, she's trying to get Dan English's attention. James Smith says, what about the Paducah area? And Rebecca Val says, bring on the snow. So, Paducah area, we don't have official forecast change yet, but I suspect there will be some changes now with the new information that's come in. So they're still looking at icing. In fact, they're in an ice storm warning. No, they're not in the ice storm warning, are they, Mark?
No.
No, okay.
They are in the winter weather advisory, but they're right on the edge. They're right on the edge. So any kind of a shift south could put them in the category for the ice storm warning as well.
That's right. And I believe that they're in the up to a quarter of an inch of ice in the Paducah area, and then maybe an inch or two of snow behind that when the system gets east of us. Let's see here. Jacob gets
Jacob Gibson,
Go ahead.
the short answer is no. When the rain falls faster or falls heavier, it just accumulates faster because part of the reason it's freezing rain is because the surfaces it's coming into contact with are freezing.
Yeah. Kind of like sticking your tongue to an ice tray or a flagpole in the wintertime.
All right, Ralphie.
Yeah. Okay, Tabitha Pitts. Any changes in the North Todd County area? Yeah, I think that change that I was talking about is going to include that, which would be a tenth to a quarter inch of ice and 1 to 2 inches of snow. Probably a quarter inch of ice in northern Todd. Latassa Mitchell says, what does it look like as far as what Madisonville will get? I commute to Hopkinsville for work. Well, Madisonville is in the ice storm warning. And
Dave, do I have an echo to you?
no, you sound fine.
Gary says I now have an echo. I don't see it from anything either.
I don't hear you. You sound fine to
What?
me.
What?
But anybody else hears the echo, let me know. Joe Holmes has subscribed. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that, and I really do appreciate it. It does help us to bring you the very latest in technology. Helps us to be able to pay for the upgrade to this stuff. Oh my goodness, you should see this stuff. The computer in here that's running this whole situation probably costs more than Mark and I are worth together. But it is.
Speak for yourself.
Well, yeah, but it is. It's a nice computer. It is huge. It's beautiful. It's got all kinds of whistles and lights and whirls and things spinning in it. It's pretty crazy. Dave Sturgis says there is an echo, Mark. So what have you done different?
Nothing. I have not touched a control or moved anything.
Well, you might want to see if Shane has an idea about that. I don't know. Judy Risley Nelson says there's a slight echo.
I hear a slight echo on you now, but that's about it.
I'm hearing fine. But I wonder if this mic up here started working again. Maybe that's part of the problem. Let me see. Nope, that wasn't that. Oh, wait a minute. I haven't turned it on, though. Let me see if that makes a difference. Hold on. Okay, now I'm going to turn this off. I was just kidding. I wasn't saying anything. But no, I could look at the meter, and it's not showing anything coming across. So anyway, Amy says it's just a slight echo, guys. So we'll go on with it. Jackie Mattis says she heard it. Mary, Mark cries, oh, good grief. I was going to say Mark. He says there's an echo. Jacob Frederick. Okay, thank you. Jacob Frederick says, what about Madisonville, Kentucky, Mark?
Madisonville is in the ice storm warning. They're probably going to get between 1/2 and 3/4 of an inch of ice out of this, and then the snow in behind it as we go into Monday morning. The one who was also asking about the commute, if you're going to take off Monday morning to head for Hopkinsville, keep a real close eye on what they're saying for road conditions because it could be a really treacherous journey.
Absolutely. Dave Sturgis says, I hear Mark echo on Facebook, but not on YouTube. Well, okay, that may be a Facebook problem then.
Yes, indeed.
I don't know.
Yeah. Pembroke, Kentucky, just like Hopkinsville, we're probably going to get anywhere from 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of the ice, maybe a little bit more now if that shifted south. And then in behind it, now they're saying 1 to 2 inches of snow, maybe.
That's what they said. Maybe we should look at the HRRR and see what it shows. Let me get my...
Yeah. What status is Fort Campbell? The forecast is about the same for Fort Campbell down across the border there. They will probably not get quite as much ice and not quite as much snow as what comes around in behind. But as far as the status of what they're calling for is where the base is open or road conditions, you'd have to check with the base on that. They don't tell us.
Okay, this is the HRRR. I'm looking at go to. I wonder if it'll do. Wonder if it would
Ike?
do. It won't do the winter stuff. It'll only do. Oh wait a minute. Maybe. Well, yeah. Here we go.
The latest HRRR, which came out at 22Z, which was 5 o'clock,
Okay. Here we
I
go.
think. Let me see.
Okay. This is at 1 a.m. mark that I'm looking at on the 5th, which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Here is 3 a.m. And right here is about 5 a.m. We see it actually in Hopkinsville. That looks like it's going to be sleet and freezing rain and all the above. But I don't see a
Yeah.
whole lot. You know, if the HRRR is to be believed, it's usually, it's kind of accurate, right?
Yeah. Of course, the HRRR stands for High Resolution Rapid Refresh, so they run it every hour. So it's got the latest and greatest of what the models are showing.
And here it is at 6 a.m., which is well underway in Hopkinsville. And you know what? That looks like sleet.
There's a lot of sleet in that as well as
Yeah.
freezing rain.
Yeah, so that will be interesting. Dave's still watching. Hey, Dave, I'm glad you're on with us. He's still watching. He hadn't started talking about food yet, so he's still awake. Oh,
Yeah.
I've lost a monitor over here to the left. We're going to have to probably. Let me see if I can bring it back up while you talk.
All right. YouTube echo too. Okay, well, like I say, I can't hear it, so I don't know where it's coming from. I haven't touched a thing.
You are still there, right, Mark? Oh, he's working on the echo. Well,
I turned my mic off for a second and asked if anybody could still hear me, because if there was two mics picking me up in here, like the laptop mic and the other mic were both picking me up, that might cause the echo. So that's why I turned it off and asked, and apparently nobody could hear me with the mic off, so it's not that.
well,
So I don't.
I brought this other monitor back. I don't know what's going on. We got a little gremlin running around in our system, it looks like. But anyway, look at the radar. Okay, this is at 6 a.m. The high oh, good grief.
HRRR, that's
Thank
fine.
you. HRRR is showing the position of where we think the precip will be at 6 a.m. Tomorrow morning. And you can see in Hopkinsville we've got, it looks like sleet over us. Some icing up just south of Massville, but actually it's probably going to be sleet mixed in with it as well. So it doesn't look that bad initially. Same thing back towards Paducah and Mayfield. Some icing is going on, but not a huge amount. And let me advance it one more frame if I can. No, it didn't have one more frame. Yes, that was the only frame I had, the last frame of it. So I'm assuming
Minus one only goes to 5 a.m. tomorrow morning because, well, it did because they were still running that particular run of the HRRR.
So I'm at 6 a.m. now, so I guess there'll be another run after this. So this will give you an idea of what it looks like on the radar at 6 a.m. in the morning. Owensboro getting snow, Henderson getting snow, whereas Morganfield back towards Marion, Carbondale, all getting sleet and probably some freezing rain mixed in. Same thing with Massville, Greenville. Little snow and sleet and freezing rain all mixed up there. And then we've got rain to our southwest from Hopkinsville southwestward towards, looks like towards Dover and then back towards Murray. Paris, you're getting in on the rain mostly, but this is what it's looking like. So let's just hope that this continues without any major issues. And let's see what else we can do here. We'll look at the NAM, see what it shows. Okay, this is another model run. So let's see here.
Yeah, that's definitely showing quite a bit of freezing rain coming in across us as the morning goes on.
Yeah, this is
And
7
then,
a.m. This is the NAM I'm looking at here.
right, a lot of sleet up there on the northern part of it, and then the freezing rain down to the south on us.
Looks like 8 a.m. we're going to be getting a lot of freezing rain at the time. And
Yeah.
then we, same thing at 9 a.m. And keep going. This is 10 a.m. It looks like there may be a little mix starting in there. And then by 11, it's starting to taper off towards south of Hopkinsville. And then let's get on up to about the noon hour. And at noon, it looks like the freezing rain has ended over Hopkinsville. Looks like we're going to transition over to rain. And that looks like it's continuing to rain as it moves northward. So we're going to ease on up. This is at 3 p.m. what it will look like tomorrow. So Russellville, Franklin, Hopkinsville, Benton, Mayfield, Murray, Union City, Martin, Tennessee, probably Clarksville. Everybody is out of the ice and looks like it's in the rain area. And then we keep moving. Here's 4 p.m. Rain gets a little heavy back towards Paducah and Mayfield.
Yes, indeed.
And
That's why we say we may even see a rumble of thunder tomorrow, but it probably won't be while we're getting any of the winter stuff.
so here's 5 p.m. Now we got rain extended up to Massville. That'd be good news for them folks. That'll help melt some of that ice, let's hope. And even up to Marion, Paducah, and Hopkinsville, all of western Kentucky now, it looks like pretty much in the rain. Now, this is the NAM model. This does not mean this is a hard concrete thing. This is just one model's depiction. And let's go on a little further. This is at 6 p.m. tomorrow. And continuing. And then it ends back here towards the lakes, and then you start seeing that colder air come on in. And here we go. A lot of pretty hefty rains. So this may be the saving grace for us, is the fact that we're going to get rain that will help melt some of the ice that we had accumulated. And it looks like that rain is continuing, but here comes the snow. Now in Hopkinsville, the snow is starting at 3 a.m. on early Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then here we go. It's getting deeper and heavier. We continue to get the snow in by 9 a.m. And then it's going to really be going along about noon. And that snow may be a little burst at times. You'll be able to be fairly pronounced. 3 p.m. we still got snow across the area. And then 6 p.m. it's starting to wind down a little, but it's still ongoing. And then here we go. This is at 9 p.m. Probably pretty much ending. And all you see left behind it by midnight is a few flurries. And then hopefully it's all over. So this is at 9 a.m. on Tuesday. So this is what it looks like. So you know what? I think I've seen worse, Mark.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be an interesting day or two with it anyway. I don't think it's going to be the widespread power outages and stuff. Definitely not like what we had in 2006. But we are going to see some ice, and then we are going to see some snow.
Well, this will help you guys a little bit to tell you what is going on. Let me get back to our normal radar now. Let's go to single site, see if that helps any. Let's see. So it's 34 degrees here just south of Morganfield. And looking back here,
again, that's showing a lot of stuff over in Missouri and down into West Tennessee. But so far, we're not seeing a lot of anything showing up on the cameras yet.
right. So yeah, this streaking in here. Now it'll be interesting to see if this does in fact plan out the way that model was showing. Um, Debbie Carver, let's see now. Jackie Mattis says spaghetti for my crew. Whoo wee. Sandy Winters says hi, Rebecca, and Jackie Mattis says then chocolate chip cookies. Hey, I need to come to your house, Jackie, to eat. That sounds good. Alicia Douglas, kind of sad, really. Would like some snow. You know what, Alicia? I promise you're going to get your fill of snow within, say, a week, I would say. Because behind this storm, there is another one coming. And that storm looks like it will be a lot more of a snowmaker than this one has been. This one's been a little bit of a disappointment because at first it was shown it was going to be snow, but the freezing rain came in as that warm air got entrenched. But that warm air will not be present after this Arctic air gets in here. And then I think you'll see that we will get a reasonable snow by, say, the 9th, 10th, and 11th, somewhere in that neighborhood. So cheer up. It'll be fine. We're going to get some snow. The winter is just now getting going good.
Starting to see a few flakes in the air over at Puxico.
Okay, well, let's see if we can see that here. Puxico, Missouri, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a few flakes coming by. I see that. You have to look close. I see little white flashes on here, so yeah, I see a few of them.
That's about the only one that is showing on. The rest of them aren't quite in it. I don't know what's going on at Dexter.
Here's Essex, Missouri. They don't have much going on there. It's a nice little Saturday evening. You know, these cameras are so fascinating to me. I just absolutely love them. There's Bell City. Not seeing much there either. But it will be a matter of time, and we will start seeing some stuff come in here. Let me see if there's anything down here in Kenton, Tennessee. I don't see much there either. Spider web across the lens.
I saw that when I was looking at that a minute ago.
Okay, let's see here. Alicia Douglas says, woohoo, she likes that snow. She says, I'm wondering if you could explain how surface temperatures and air temperatures contribute to the formation of freezing rain versus sleet and snow. Very easy answer, Mark. You want to answer it for her?
Yeah. When we're looking at sleet, it means that the precip is coming out. Let's start off with the snow that starts. It starts up in the air in a region called the dendrite generation zone. That's the area where snowflakes form. As they drop through warmer air, if the air is shallow enough, they kind of turn to liquid and then they refreeze as the little pellets we call sleet. So they have basically fallen through enough cold air to refreeze before they get to the surface. For freezing rain, that warm layer is thick enough so that the liquid does not freeze again as it comes back down, although it may get right close to freezing and become supercooled, is what they call it. But then the surface temperature will be below freezing or at or below freezing so that raindrop freezes on contact with the surface. Ooh, there I see a few flakes flying.
Yeah, this is the Dragon Nation, the school we were looking at earlier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're getting snow now. Terry, Tessa Terry wants to know when our next live update will be. We'll be streaming. Will we be streaming tomorrow too? Yes, we will.
Yes, we will. We haven't quite decided what time we're going to start in the morning.
Yeah, I'd say it's going to depend on the weather conditions. Probably, I want to say, I don't know. noonish, maybe a little after noonish, Mark.
If you want to wait that late, that's fine. I don't anticipate going to church tomorrow because I'm not going to take Tammy and the kids out in that to try to take them to Oak Grove. So, but we can start as early as you'd like.
Well, let's. I guess we can make a decision in the morning. I could either call you or text you.
That would be fine. That would be
Yeah.
fine. I'm probably
Uh,
going to be up on and off through the night watching this stuff anyway.
oh, aren't we all? You know, we'll go. We've been doing this for a week now. I guess we started looking at this storm. Oh
Well, 2 weeks
gosh,
ago, we
at
started
least
looking
two
at it.
weeks ago. Yeah, we started looking at it and we talked about it. And so we've been with this the whole time, and we've been coming on because there's so much interest. So many people were saying, "Hey, we need to know what's going to happen," and I shared their concern because I want to make sure that everybody is informed. I want to make sure that you get prepared because I remember times when I didn't have anything like this, it was it was hard to get prepared, and it comes in on you, and you don't have anything. You say, "Oh, good grief!" And then you're stuck there looking at the four walls, and no power, and no food, and I mean, it's miserable. So this time, I want everybody to be prepared. That's what this is all about. Uh, Amateur meteorologist Zach says there's an enhanced risk of severe weather for the tri-state area of Arkansas, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Yeah,
Yes, there
and
is.
I'm glad that's to the south of us. That's we don't need any severe weather right now in the midst of all this stuff. We've got enough problems as it is. So anyway,
Yeah, I did not have ice storm, tornado, snow on my bingo card for this
no,
first week of
no,
January.
no, me either. Uh, but yeah, it looks like Brendan Kopic is trying to get over there into that snow band. He's traveling here along the interstate headed towards, I guess, St. Joe.
Yeah. Vince Whaley was up to the north up there. I saw earlier. He was he's over in Iowa right now,
Yeah,
in Marshalltown, Iowa, which is kind of between Des Moines and Cedar Rapids.
right. If you haven't subscribed, please jump over to the YouTube channel real quick. Subscribe to the channel. It means so much. It helps us more than you possibly know. Not only that, but when you do, you get to see a little squiggly thing jump up on the screen here. I think that's funny. It looks kind of neat. Uh, but that's just the way we try that every now and then. Mark, take over for just a second.
All right. And for those saying thank you, well, we do it because we want to make sure you're informed and you know what's coming. We want everyone out there to be safe and be careful. While we're talking about that, if your power goes out, you be careful in what you use for an alternate heat source. Make sure it stays well ventilated. We don't want to lose anybody of that. If you use a generator, make sure it stays at least 20 feet away from your house. Make sure you don't have any problems with carbon monoxide poisoning. We've seen people in the past be using generators or using an alternate heat source in their house and end up being very sick or pass away from carbon monoxide. And we don't want to see that to happen to anybody. So, again, be very, very careful with what you're doing. Hopefully, you've made most of your preparations by now because we're heading toward dark as we get into this evening. So, your time for preparation is done. It's time to hunker down and see what happens. I think Dave's in there talking to somebody. Wish you could have a generator, Tracy Runyon. Are you in an apartment or something where you couldn't have one? If that's the case, or even if you couldn't afford one, um, it's a nice item to have. It's very handy. I mean, I use mine even when there's no risk of something like this. If I'm doing something that needs electric out in the backyard, just to keep it running and up to date and running well. But if not, you have to rely on the power grid. And the power grid is pretty robust in this area. After the 2009 ice storm, the power companies went really all out to make sure that they were clearing trees off the lines and make sure the lines were robust enough to last in case they did have some ice. So hopefully it won't be too bad. It looks like the worst storm accumulation for ice is going to be over in Missouri, south of Farmington, and over to the northwest of Cape Girardeau, and they're looking for a pretty good amount, up to about an inch in that particular area. The rest of the ones around here, like north of Hopkinsville, Madisonville, Owensboro, you're looking between a quarter and a half inch of ice with this coming in. Again, if that drops a little bit south, those ice totals could go up a little bit down here in the southern part. But for the most part, right across southern Illinois and into the northwest counties of Kentucky, southwest of Evansville, is where the heaviest band is going to be of ice accumulation. And the heaviest snow accumulation is going to be up north in the Owensboro and Evansville area. Evansville, 6 to 8 inches, and then up into Jasper, Indiana, 6 to 8 inches, and only Illinois looks like 6 to 8 inches. So there's some pretty good snow up that way coming in.
Hey, Mark, I'm back. I'm sorry, I was speaking with Amy. She's
Yeah.
been busy at work, and I'm going to show you. Look what I just got in, a big shipment. I love David Powell jacuzzis. Why anybody would want that, I don't know, but maybe you can put your spit jar in it or something. But those are available on our online store. Thought you guys would like to see it. And we're getting some other stuff in stock too. So Amy's been busy working on that stuff. I'm really proud of her. And I tell you what, the Kentucky Hempwork stuff is going like hotcakes. People are loving that salve.
Absolutely. That's some really good stuff.
It is. I've used it too. You and I both have used it, so we believe in it. But I guess you have to get it in order to believe in it. Try it. Excuse me. I'll be okay in a minute. Let me get my throat clear. I'm starting to come back a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's
Tony
see here.
Harris, what time do we expect this? Your phone says around 2 a.m. That's not a bad time.
Yeah, that's about right.
I was going to say close to 3
Yep.
when it was going to start in, so we'll see what happens.
I'm so tickled with these. Why anybody would want a jacuzzi is a jacuzzi. Here we go. Where's Tammy?
She got you.
Hope
She
she's
got
not
you.
on there anywhere. I swear. So she'll start in on me. The koozies, of course, they're meant to keep your cans cold or hot, whatever they may be. And I hear some coffee mugs are supposed to be becoming available before long. But I thought these are kind of neat. I've had a lot of, actually several people have ordered them. I don't know why they want them, but maybe they want to throw darts at them, stuff like that. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. You're awfully nice. I do want to tell you that if you have subscribed, you're now a member of the Watchers of the Wind tribe. Hey, this is the logo for that. So I thought you guys would like to see it. There's actually a page called Watchers of the Wind Facebook page that we haven't done as much with as we intended to. We're not done yet, but it's just getting everything. We have been just growing leaps and bounds, and it's hard to keep up with it all. Mark's staying so busy all the time. He says I'm working like a slave, and I say I'm working myself harder than I am anybody because, you're your own worst boss, I guess you'd say. Right, Mark?
Yeah, I've often said, I'm self-employed and my boss is a jerk.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, me. Allegra Pace says, David, we all love you. Oh, Allegra, you're just so nice. I'm sorry my voice is cracking. I could say I'm choked up, but I really am choked up.
Yeah,
But thank
I think
you, Allegra.
before long we're probably going to have to get off here so we can kind of
Yeah,
get recharged and prepped to come back on tomorrow.
yeah. I hate to leave when we've got so many people watching, but I hope we've answered everybody's question. It means a lot that we've been able to share this time with you. We have been on for, about 3.5 hours now. And
Wow.
yeah, it's something. I will tell you some of the up and coming thing. Let me get off this and back up to our current radar. We see this actually crossing over into far western Kentucky now. The rain is anyway. Take one quick look around here, just real quick. I don't see anything there in Bell City. And let me look at Bucksco. Well, yeah, they're getting some snow, but not much. Let's go over and look at Dragon Nation. And they are getting some snow coming down. So it's coming. It's just a matter of time now. As you can see, it's coming in on us. And so we'll get into this evening. So relax. Try to enjoy yourselves. Eat your nice warm meal. some hot soup. Oh, that sounds good. Maybe
Yeah.
you know what I've got a craving
You're up
for.
there said they were having chili.
Who?
Said somebody on up there said they were
I
having
think
chili.
that was Jackie. No, Jackie Maz having spaghetti. Tammy Tatum's eating some good old chili. Yum yum. Thank you, Tammy, for bringing us a bowl. We appreciate that.
He's teasing you, Tammy.
Yeah, I am, of course. But anyway, I do think we're going to start going ahead and backing on out. We've said about everything we know to say. We've tried to tell you all everything we know. We'll look at this again tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly what time we'll go on. We will go on live tomorrow at some point. I'll let you. I'll let you know on my Facebook post. I'll post and let you know, and I'll be checking with Mark after we see what the conditions are, and we'll go from there. But thank you all so much, and especially thank you for subscribing to the channel. That has meant so much to us. It helps us more than you know, and they're talking food on there. I'm about to starve.
Yeah.
Now it's time to go. When they start talking food, it's time for me to get out of here. But anyway, thank you all so much. And Mark, you got any final words? And we will see you tomorrow, I promise.
Yeah. Y'all be safe. Stay warm tonight. Keep a real close eye on the conditions for tomorrow morning. If it's icy and stuff, remember discretion is the better part of valor.
And if I don't see you here, I'll see you here.
Bye, everyone.